Oh, yeah. That's right, folks. You found your way back to Z Show. Welcome. Greetings. Much love, one and all. That's right. all you lovely people who decided to spend your time here with us as we commune and we discuss, converse about all sorts of things, really. But as many of my longtime listeners know, because a lot of people come in and they say, "What's this show about? Where's the topic? You don't have a thumbnail with a title to spoon feed me what to think." And as all my listeners know, the Z Show is about, well, Z. That's me, yours truly, Z. Plain and simple. I mean, like, it's not like just about me. I should say it, a bit more eloquently. But it's about me, my consciousness, my mindset, my intellect, my cognition. Dare I say, even my emotions. And all the friends that I have here in the metaverse who get to contribute. But again, it's really just about me. Glyph is asking me if I have a new mic. Well, I guess relatively speaking, Glyph, new meaning since I came back from my hiatus about maybe a month and a half ago, I've had the new mic. So I guess, yeah, new mic. New mic. The Ancient of Days says the cult of personality. It's a cult of Z personality, everybody. Look who's here. Our new friend Barbie's here. She's here because she knows I have a thing for her. She's got that Miley Cyrus thing going. We met Barbie on Friday night. Much love, Barbie. That's right. People in my chat tend to become part of the show very quickly. I integrate like all facets of the Z community into this whole experience. But much love, Barbie. I'll try to keep it PG. At least PG-13, maybe. At least PG-13. Our friend Sarah Breslin informed me on Friday. Here she is, right on cue. Informed me that the Z Show may not be suitable for all listening ages and all listening audiences. And that sometimes when the kiddos are in the room, we need to turn the volume down. Another one of my listeners, no longer on the ball, the man behind True Earth Wiki. Everybody sub to True Earth Wiki, or should I say, not sub, because it's not like a YouTube channel, but go find True Earth Wiki. But our friend, no longer on the ball, says he listens with headphones. Not because of children, because his wife's usually in the background, like doing dishes or cooking and stuff. And I tend to bring up somewhat salacious topics, occasionally, not always. Appears we have a bunch of people from Florida. Will I Am is back. And of course, the lovely Heidi. She's part of the Florida crew. Which I'd imagine, right, this time of year, Florida's probably quite pleasant. It's probably a great time to be in Florida. It's a pretty good time to be where I am, here in southern New Jersey. We call it South Jersey as if it's its own state, but it's just really southern New Jersey. And it's still a bit chilly here, but it's coming around. The trees are in bloom. The tulips are up. Not all the way, but they've been up for a while. So, much love, everybody. Jamie Sea Level says, Zetetic Warrior, I've only seen a handful of your shows, and each time you wear a beanie. Is there a reason? Cheers. Yeah, there's a reason. I just like the beanie look. I mean, I may switch it up at some point to like another type of hat, but the reason I wear something on my head is not because I'm like going bald or anything. Like many people have speculated. Many people have speculated that I'm not only bald or balding, but overweight. And I can assure you, none of those are anywhere near the realm of truth. I wear the beanie because the way I orient myself, like up close and personal, like here, let me turn my camera on. You see my orientation here? Sea level. It's a thing, right? So I can get up close and personal with you guys. If I don't have a beanie or some headpiece, it's because I'm in the dark. It's just like off forehead. You see what I mean? It doesn't have the same aesthetic. So there's your answer, Jamie. Harmon Walker comes in. Harmon's doing some cleanup work. He says your show is perfect and, and your look is great. And your look is great. Don't change a thing, only when you want to. Thanks, Harmon. Harmon's feeling a little bit of regret because he came on my show Friday night and basically told me that I'm wasting my life and I'm living like a meaningless, shallow existence, and that I need to like go out and start a family, get a wife, and do that whole thing. You might be onto something, Harmon. No need to backtrack. It's okay, dude. No need to backtrack. I'll take what you said under advisement. Again, though, I'm not sure if, who knows? Maybe I'll have some choices amongst the ladies of the Z show. Maybe this Barbie. Although Barbie doesn't seem like she's interested in like entertaining any male suitors at this point. She's in her late 30s and she's already achieved grandma status, which good for you, Barbie. Judging by your accent and the fact that you're a grandma in your late 30s, we could assume you live somewhere below the Mason-Dixon line. Matter of fact, I'm sure of it. All right, I better get going because I have a special guest in the back. Well, she's special to me and she's special to many of you. So I'm going to get going with the show because we have a pretty good show lined up tonight. Why is my camera still on? It's not supposed to be on yet. So let me prep the show, Rose. So Rose is coming up. A lot of you guys, are you here, Emilios, man? Rose is back. Look, Rose, you're back, and Emilios, man, your number one supporter, is not even here to greet you. He'll be so disappointed when he finds out later that you were here and he wasn't here for the occasion and the festivities. Snafu just says, Barbie is a crackhead. Now, Snafu, I mean, again, Snafu, it's about the claims. My number one issue with you, Mr. Snaps, is where's the evidence, good sir? Can you support that claim that you just levied against the lovely Barbie? Stop it. Stop it. She's lovely. She's one of these chicks that I could imagine twisting up like a pretzel and pretty much just... Anyway, like I said, I'm going to keep it PG-13. So I'll leave it there. So anyway, let me prep the next segment, tonight's main segment. It's Rose 777. That's right. She's back from her travels. Rose has been traveling to and fro this great American continent, and she's back. Maybe she'll tell us a little bit about her recent travels. And Rose tonight will be basically exploring the mentality and the psychology of yours truly, Mr. Zetetic Warrior. Yeah, me. I speak in the third person, so what? And she's going to be administering what's called the Jung typology test. All right. It's a measure of my preferences for dealing with and relating to people, processing information, making decisions, and organizing my life. It's basically a personality test. To my knowledge, she's going to be using the Myers-Briggs type indicator, but she'll get more into the specifics. And she may even introduce a component where the listeners get to play along at home. So I'm not sure, Rose. We'll work the details out in a few minutes once you come up. But the idea is that we're going to find out which type of personality I have, based on the Myers-Briggs. And maybe some of you all will be able to find out your personality type. Who knows? Not sure. So maybe we'll get this thing going. Harmon says, hey Z, Rose wasn't totally loyal to you. For 4 hours, she took over the Flow State show, and you were brought up many, many times. Uh-oh. But Rose was positive talking to Rose. Are you listening? Harmon's now like an informer. Hey, Harmon, I like it, dude. It's not rad. Some people are basically like Sean Alke's accusing Harmon of snitching. No, Harmon, keep snitching. I need my like eyes and ears on the ground, good sir. And you could definitely, serve as that in that role, Mr. Harmon Walker. Much love on Flow State. Flow State, the Flow State show is a friend of the Z show. It's a sister show or a brother show. We're in solidarity with Mr. Flow State. One, because I know Flow State's a flat earther, but he doesn't like to tell people as much. Which is okay, Flow State. I get it. You have like a daughter and a wife and stuff. So, but I know Flow State really understands, what this place is, the topographical plane that we call Earth. So, right there, he basically is endeared to me in so many ways. No, I read the comment, Harmon. I already read it. All right, maybe we'll get this thing started because I want to get Rose up here. So yeah, that's the I should have a banner up for this. Maybe I'll put a banner up before I get Rose up here. We're gonna find out my personality type tonight, which is becoming like a continuing segment here in Z Show. Last time we had Rose up, she gave me what was called the HARE sociopath test, HARE. You guys can find it. I think it was like an 18-question test, 44 points. And I was basically ranked not quite pathological in terms of psychopathy, but not normal. I was right in the middle. I scored a 15 out of a possible 44. 25 being pathologically psychopathic or presenting with psychopathic personality disorder, to be specific. I was a 15. Rose herself was also a 15. A norm was like 5. So Rose and I were 3 times more psychopathic than the normal person. I'm just saying. So now we're going to find out my personality type. Should be a fun night, everybody. Looking forward to it. So maybe we'll get this off the ground. Maybe we'll get this damn thing started. Oh, what happened to my music? I had my music all queued up and I hit the wrong button. That's right, it's down here. But welcome, everybody. And anybody new, you are welcome to come up during the open panel portion, which is later in the show. I saw somebody named Stinky Cash said they might want to come up. If you're still listening, Stinky, yeah, no problem. Just wait for the show. It seemed like a lot of my listeners already know who you are, which is good because your reputation precedes you. So I don't have to wonder who the F you are. All right, that's enough of this. Enough of this BS. Let's get the show started. Hola, folks. Official opening commencing right now. Good evening, everybody. Greetings and salutations. You found your way back to Z Show. That's right, folks. It's the end of the rainbow, the bottom of the rabbit hole. And as always, we are broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal topographical plane called Earth. Much love, guys and dolls. We have an exciting show ahead, as already announced. In a few moments, we will have up here the incomparable, the illustrious Rose 777. That's right. She will be administering a test on yours truly, in which we find out my personality type. And we may have a component where you all can play along too. It's going to be a fun time, like always, folks. Strap in. Z Show has now taken off. Much love, everybody. Love it. Love that opening. Who's here? Sean Osborne, aka Random Fan. Much love. Rose Davidson. Good to see you. New name. Don McRon. Welcome back. Divine Spark 313. Heidi in the house. Angela Baby Carson. Much love, Angela, who apparently only gives her sexual partner, Mr. Sean Alke, 2 sex positions to choose from. Just 2. But I said, one's enough. Don't be greedy, Sean. One's fine with me, Angela. Just saying. Snafu Crew, much love. M's Mad World, a.k.a. the lovely Barbie. Good to see you. Fat narcissistic cult leader, loser, failure, bum. Quite a handful. Can't imagine who you'd be referring to in the house. Oh, I already said hi to Snafu, ruled by Saturn, RT, my man, Harmon Walker. Again, my ears and eyes on the street, somewhere in time. As always, lovely, lovely lady. One more quarter. Nice name. Some new names in here. Always like to see that. And so many more. I can keep going on and on with the chat, but much love, all you lovely people, as always. All right, we're going to get Rose up in a second. But in the meantime, let's take a very brief musical interlude to allow me to sip some of my lovely filtered, RO filtered / distilled water that I like to drink during my shows. Guys, I'm to the point now where I have tap water, like from the municipality. I can't drink it anymore. The tap water makes me sick. It's like if I go and buy the water, like I said, the reverse osmosis distilled water, man, I could drink a gallon a day like nothing. It's like my body just absorbs it like so perfectly. When I try to drink the tap water, it's like I'm choking it down. The chlorine smell is overwhelming. Plus whatever the hell else is in it. It's too much for me. It's way too much for me. Okay, we'll be back in about 2 minutes. In the meantime, let's listen to this guy yodel. Much love. Don't go anywhere. Rose will be up in 2 minutes for all you Rose fans. And for all you Rose haters, hey, why not? All right, guys, more Z Show.
Smell like an old bar.
That's not the song. More Z Show in a bit, everybody. Much love. This guy's name's Voynich, you're about to hear, by the way. Just so you know.
Sing din jede Sänderin, darum zieh ich jedes Jahr in die Berge, das ist klar. Und ich sing mit frohem Sinn, weil ich dann in Urlaub bin.
Come on, Voynich, take it away, Mr. Voy. I know, Rose. Voynich's Dutch. It's close enough.
So ein Jodler wird Leid, der bringt Stimmung und macht Freud. Wie ein heller Sonnenschein leuchtet er ins Herz hinein. Überall im Alpenland ist ein Jodler wohl bekannt. Immer wieder sing ich sie, diese Jodler-Melodie.
Thank you, Mr. Yodler. Mr. Yodler. All right, let's let Rose up. Here's the thing, Rose, who's informing me that Voynich is Dutch, been Dutch people, but the Dutch, German, Austrian link, isn't it like all the same thing anyway? I don't know. Seems like it's the same to me. All right, Rose has been like busting at the seams to get up here. She hates that I've left her in the back for like the last 20 some minutes, and she's like dying to get up here. She wants to defend herself against the salacious and inflammatory allegations from one Mr. Harmon Walker. Anyway, without any further ado, Rose, welcome back to the show.
Hello and happy Monday. It's great to be here and I'm so excited for this segment, but we actually have old business to discuss first because all of these things happened ever since you started the show and held me hostage backstage, unable to defend myself. First of all, I think the most important thing to note is that Harmon is the whole reason I even went on Flow State, because I followed him over there and I saw him talking and then he told me to go up there. So I didn't know any better. So Snafu, my friend in the chat, is freaking out because apparently Flow State is a pedophile supporter. And Z, I had no idea that this guy was a supporter of pedophiles. And now that Snafu has told me this information about him, I would never want to talk to him again. Now, in the chat, I told Snafu that last night after hanging out with him and talking to him, it didn't seem like he was a pedophile supporter. In fact, it feels like if I were to ask him if he supported pedophiles, he would say, hell no, fuck those people, they're horrible and I want them all to die. And so this information from Snafu is mind-blowing and I'm in shock.
Wow, Rose. I mean, you know, I've stated on my show many times that I don't hold Snafu in the highest of, let's say, the credibility, let's say, factor. But I do love Snafu in a lot of ways. But you seem to like really be taking what Snafu says as gospel here against Mr. Flow State. So I don't know. I'm sure Snafu can come on later and defend himself, but we may be at a divide here because I see no evidence, Rose, that Mr. Flow State would anyway, in any sort whatsoever, endorse pedophilia, support any type of pedophile activity whatsoever. But apparently Snafu feels otherwise. So I don't know. It's a weird place that we're in here.
But why would Snafu say such a thing without having any evidence?
I don't know. It's almost a question I ask all the time. Like, why would Snafu have said so many things about yours truly without evidence? And he says it emphatically, persistently, and pervasively, almost as if it's like some weird compulsion that he has or a disorder. I don't know. What do I know, though?
Well, Snafu is going to have to accept that I am on my own truth journey because everyone has their own truth, yo. And so just because something may be obvious to him, he needs to let me continue my path of information gathering and discovery so I can come to either the same conclusion that he has or not. But you can't be mad at me for where I go on the internet, Snafu, because just like you, I like to go around looking at everything so I can make up my own mind. So I hope you'll forgive me for wanting to go on my own truth journey and we could still keep our alliance even if you see me participating on other panels. I don't think that showing up on a panel means that I endorse everyone on that panel and everything that they believe in. I look at it as an opportunity to express myself. And so going back to Harmon's allegations that I was not being loyal, well, I didn't have anyone else to talk to between the hours of like 1 a.m. and 2:45 a.m. So it was perfect.
Well, that's one good thing about Flow State show. It's a good late night show when you want to tune in and kind of hear a diverse perspective from people from many different backgrounds, ideologies, and the such. So Mr. Flow State getting a little endorsement there, but much love. Um, okay, Rose. So I prepped the crowd a bit, but let's give them a little bit more. So I let the crowd know that you are on here for this segment to basically, and Flow State, you're going to like this because our friend Flow State is a fan of the personality type tests, like the Myers-Briggs type indicator, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what you're here for. We're going to discover tonight, empirically, that's right, these Zetetic Warriors personality type under what's called the Jung typology test. Can you give us a little bit more information, Rose?
Absolutely. I have been obsessed with this test since 1997. And the link that I just put backstage in the private chat, which I would like you to share with the entire chat, because I would like everyone who's interested, who doesn't know their Jung typology, Myers-Briggs type, I want them to take the test. And I want them to take it fast and not along with us. And I'll explain why. But this particular link is the same one that I've been going to all this time. So I know that people out there will appreciate when they click on the link that it's totally late 90s and it hasn't changed in all this time. And so compared to maybe some modern websites out there, who knows, maybe there's a better test out there for Jung typology, but I've been using this for so many years and I just feel very connected to it and I trust it. And it just makes me happy because I have this history with it. So it really is truly not a bit. I'm excited to share it with you to find out what your type is. And also, I hope that as many people in the chat will take the time to follow my instructions and take the test and then tell me what their type is so that I could think about it and make, uneducated decisions and judgments about everybody. And then maybe also, I mentioned this to you in text, think about like who would have what role in like a post-apocalyptic dystopian situation, just for fun, using my own imagination. So it's for me and it's for everyone. And this test is very helpful. And I used it personally. People use it for like relationships of all different kinds. But the way I used it was when I was I was the training manager at Citrix Online. And so when people would come in, I'd put them through a 3-week training program and I would have them take the test in the beginning, because I feel like when you know someone's type, it's not like astrology or just like vague things. It's just practical, because when you know someone's type, you are pretty much knowing how they answered these particular questions. I don't want people to think about the questions too much today, but when you've been thinking about this stuff as long as I have, you kind of know which questions are geared towards whether it's extroverted or introverted, sensing or intuitive, thinking or feeling, or judging or perceiving. And so when you're used to knowing what people's types are, you can kind of get a feel for things. So in this particular example in my life, I would use the test to figure out if they were better suited for customer service or technical support. And I would funnel them into each jobs. And then eventually I would merge the two jobs together anyway. But it was really, really fun. And so I really hope that I'm hyping it up well and that people will click the link. Did you share it in the chat?
Yeah, so the link's in the chat.
Okay. Oops, let me see here. Let me present my screen. Actually, wait, no, I don't want you to see the screen because I need it to be really fast. So that's the thing about the test that I wanted to say. Unlike the psychopathy test, I need you to give the quickest reaction that you possibly can. And we can't discuss anything in between the questions, because what we're trying to nail down here is not what you think you should be, not what you think that you want to be, but what you actually are. And in some of these situations that you're going to be thinking about, you might think, oh, sometimes this happens or sometimes that happens. But you just got to think about the general the overwhelming majority of situations that it would be, without like the offhand different situations. You just want to be honest with yourself about how you actually are in your behavior and how you feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so can you give us a basic outline of what the test is? What are the different results and what they mean?
Okay.
Just a basic.
There are 16 possible results because it's a
Wow,
mixture.
16.
Yeah, it's a computation of 8 different variables. And it's 4 different categories. So there's 2 options in each of the 4 categories. So the first category is extroverted versus introverted. So you're either an E or an I. I'm an extroverted, intuitive thinking judger. So the opposite of me would be an introverted, sensing, feeling perceiver. So extroverted, introverted, and then intuition versus sensing, and then thinking versus feeling, and then judging versus perceiving. And by the way, when you get your score, you're not just, oh, you're an extrovert. It's actually a percentage. So someone might score a 2% extrovert, which means they're really, really close to being an introvert. And then someone who's really extroverted like me might be like 80% extroverted. So it's a sliding scale and everybody's different. But if you basically know what your type is and you keep testing yourself honestly, I mean, in my case, I'm always the same, except every now and then, sometimes I'll come up as sensing in my teenage years. So it's a lot of questions compared to the psychopathy test. It's about 60 to 70, I think. Let me just double check. But it's yes, no. 64. So it's an emphatic yes, yes, uncertain no, and an emphatic no.
So it's emphatic yes, right?
To
And
be
then just the yes.
well, to be totally clear, it's a yes in capital letters and then a yes in not capital letters, lowercase, and then
Right.
uncertain, and then no lowercase and no.
All right, so uncertain, and then kind of no, and then no. Gotcha.
It's like yes, yes, uncertain, no, no.
All right, all right. So I'm just going to use, like you said, capital yes, lowercase yes, uncertain, lowercase no, or capital no. All right, we'll keep it like it's like it is. I
Right.
got it. So it's basically like 5. It's like 1 through 5. 1 being emphatically no, and 5 being emphatically yes, and it's like a spectrum up through the thing. Okay, I get it. I got it. I got it. And uncertain would be like neutral, right in the middle. You got it.
Yeah, yeah, like or like you just don't care. All right. So just remember, think about how you are. Who are you? How are you? Not what you think society wants you to be or what you want to be.
Okay. Now, can the listeners play along at the same time, or would you like them to do this test like afterwards and then we revisit it at some point? How would you like that?
If I could have it my way, I would want them to like stop listening to us right now and just take it really fast without thinking and then just save their results till later when I'm paying attention to the comments. And the reason for it is because I don't want them listening to us to distract them or make them think too much about the questions. Because
Well, how about this? Why don't we do it, and then afterwards I'll play a song when we're done, and then they could play it during that song period. I'll play like an extra long song, and then when we do the open panel portion, maybe they can come up and talk about it. How's that?
Yes, yes, yes. I want to discuss with people. Like if we have 2 people come up and I find out they're 2 types, I can ask them questions about what they think about the other person because it's interesting for me to hear how people think they should communicate with someone based on their personality type. And
Gotcha.
then I get to decide if they're, if they're making a good decision.
All right, so let's do this. So if you want to take it, you can watch me take it, and then you can hit the link real quick when we do the break. And if you want to come up and talk about yours afterwards, you certainly can. Okay, so I think I have it. I like the way you explained it, that basically there's 4 categories, and you're in 2 basic categories. And those 4 categories are extrovert versus introvert, intuition versus sensing, thinking versus feeling, and judging versus perceiving. And then basically you get, that's what the 4 letters are. Like when people say, oh, I'm an EIFJ or whatever. Gotcha. All right. So now I get it. And I understand what you meant about like the 16 total possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we're good. Now I'm going to try to give you my immediate answer. but then maybe like I'll ruminate a little bit on like why I gave that answer, just to give some context to the audience. All right, so are we good? Are we good to go?
If you must discuss your answer, I understand the urge, but just make it snappy.
You got it. You got it. Now the other thing I was thinking, this is weird, is like how much of like Z, right? Zetetic warrior, how much of that is me, like me in real life? Are those two the same thing?
No.
Is my projection here, my persona as Z? So I'll take this as like myself. So I'll just try to drop the Z persona as much as possible. And I'll give you like the in real life me guy to try to make this as valuable as possible. Because I imagine if we did like Z, it's a little different. Like Z is like ultra horny and kind of like an extrovert and stuff. And reality is I'm not an extrovert in real life. I'm probably much more of an introvert. So, all right, I got it now. Let's do this.
Yeah. The more you're talking, the more I want to talk, but I'm going to stop myself and we're just going to go for it. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
All right. Number 1, you are almost never late for your appointments.
Lowercase, no.
You like to engage in tasks requiring active and fast-paced participation.
Lowercase, no.
You enjoy having a wide circle of acquaintances.
That's a yes.
Little yes or big yes?
Little yes.
Ooh, okay. You are moved by the emotions of the characters of melodrama series.
That's a lowercase yes.
All right. You are usually the first to react to a sudden event, the telephone ringing, or an unexpected question.
Lowercase no.
Okay. Compassion is the foundation of human society.
Uncertain.
You think that everything in the world is relative.
Lowercase no.
Strict observance of the established rules is likely to prevent attaining a good outcome.
Lowercase no.
It is difficult to get you excited.
Lowercase no.
When making a decision, you rely more on your feelings than on analysis of the situation.
Lowercase yes.
You often think about humankind and its destiny.
Uppercase yes.
You believe the best decision is one which can be easily managed. I'm sorry, why did I say that? You believe the best decision is one which can be easily changed.
Lowercase yes.
You often ponder the root cause of phenomena and things.
That is an emphatic uppercase yes.
I would have yelled at you if not. Okay. You prefer to act quickly on the limited information at hand rather than thoroughly analyze the situation first.
That's a lowercase no.
You trust reason rather than feelings.
Hold on, I just got distracted from the chat. Look what our pool just wrote.
I wonder
said,
if
I
that's
love
where
her.
I get it from. No, I think I've always been like this. I think that's why we love each other so much. One time we were on the phone and we got distracted from the person on the phone for a second. We were talking back and forth, and our friend, it was actually Kalina, and she said, "You guys sound exactly like each other."
That's funny. So I missed it. So do the question again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Okay. You trust reason rather than feelings.
See, I'd like to say yes on that one, but it's not really how I operate, which is weird.
That's
I'm just gonna
why
put
I
uncertain.
said,
That's an
how are you?
yeah, it's an uncertain.
Okay. You're inclined to rely more on improvisation than on prior planning.
See, I do both. But in my life, that's uncertain.
Okay. You spend your leisure time actively socializing with a group of people, attending parties, shopping, etc.
Oh no, that's a uppercase no.
Okay. You usually plan your actions in advance.
My actions. Lowercase yes.
Your actions are frequently influenced by your emotions.
Frequently influenced by my emotions. Lowercase yes.
You are a person somewhat reserved and distant in communication. That's for John, not Z.
Lowercase. Say it again. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
That's for the you are a person somewhat reserved and distant in communication.
Yeah, that's a lowercase yes.
Okay. You know how to put every minute of your time to good purpose.
Oh boy, that could be a lot of things. We're just gonna put uncertain on that one.
Okay. You often contemplate the complexity of life.
Uppercase yes.
After prolonged socializing, you feel you need to get away and be alone.
Uppercase yes.
You often do jobs in a hurry.
Lowercase no.
You easily see the general principle behind specific occurrences.
Uppercase yes.
You frequently and easily express your feelings and emotions.
Lowercase no.
You find it difficult to speak loudly.
Lowercase yes.
You get bored if you have to read theoretical books.
Lowercase no.
You tend to sympathize with others.
Lowercase yes.
You value justice higher than mercy.
Lowercase no.
You rapidly get involved in the social life of a new workplace.
Lowercase no.
The more people you speak to, the better you feel.
Lowercase no.
You tend to rely on your experience rather than on theoretical possibilities.
Lowercase yes.
As a rule, you proceed only when you have a clear and detailed plan.
Lowercase no.
You easily empathize with the concerns of other people.
Lowercase yes.
Often you prefer to read a book than go to a party.
Uppercase yes.
When with a group of people, you enjoy being directly involved in being at the center of attention.
Uncertain.
You are more inclined to experiment than to follow familiar approaches.
Lowercase yes.
You are strongly touched by the stories about people's troubles.
Lowercase yes.
Deadlines seem to you to be of relative rather than absolute importance.
Lowercase yes.
You prefer to isolate yourself from outside noises.
Uppercase yes.
For you, it's easier to gain knowledge through hands on experience than from books or manuals.
Uncertain.
You think that almost everything can be analyzed.
Uppercase or just lowercase yes.
For you, no surprise is better than surprises, bad or good ones.
Lowercase yes.
You take pleasure in putting things in order.
Lowercase yes.
You feel at ease in a crowd.
In a crowd. That's a lowercase yes.
You have good control over your desires and temptations.
Oh, God. Uncertain.
You easily understand new theoretical principles.
Lowercase yes.
You usually place yourself nearer to the side than in the center of the room.
Lowercase yes.
When solving a problem, you'd rather follow a familiar approach than seek a new one.
Uncertain.
A thirst for adventure is something close to your heart.
Lowercase yes.
When considering a situation, you pay more attention to the current situation and less to a possible sequence of events.
Lowercase no.
When solving a problem, you rely on logic rather than emotion or belief in most situations.
Lowercase yes.
You find it difficult to talk about your feelings.
Lowercase yes.
Your decisions are based more on the feelings of a moment than on the thorough planning.
One more time. I didn't hear the second word.
Your decisions are based more on the feeling of a moment than on thorough planning.
I'm going to go with lowercase no, which is weird because some of these things seem contradictory, but like if I was an objective observer, my answers would seem contradictory, but to me they're not, which is weird.
That's okay. You prefer to spend your leisure time alone or relaxing in a tranquil atmosphere.
Hold on a second. My computer's doing something weird.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Prefer to spend my leisure time alone. What was that again?
Alone or relaxing in a tranquil atmosphere.
Yeah, that's an emphatic yes.
You feel more comfortable sticking to conventional ways.
It's a lowercase no.
You are easily affected by strong emotions.
Lowercase yes.
You are always looking for opportunities.
Lowercase yes.
As a rule, current preoccupations worry you more than your future plans.
Lowercase yes.
It is easy for you to communicate in social situations.
I'm gonna go uncertain on that one.
All right, you're doing great. Just 3 more. You rarely deviate from your habits.
Lowercase yes.
You willingly involve yourself in matters which engage your sympathies.
Was it a willingly or rarely? I didn't hear what you said.
Willingly. You willingly involve yourself in matters which engage your sympathies.
That's uncertain.
You easily perceive various ways in which events could develop.
Lowercase yes.
All right. And I'm just putting in your age and gender and scoring it. You are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
An
write this down.
INFJ, an introverted, intuitive, feeling judger. And your introversion is a 47%. Your intuitive side is a 44%. Your feeling is a 16%, which means you're kind of close to being a perceiver. And then, oh, wait, no, thinker. And then you're a 9% judger, which makes you really close to being a perceiver. So let me read a couple of things about this. INFJ type description. Let me see this. Oh gosh, this is really long. I'm going to put this into the chat so you can read it in the future. So what do you think?
So I'm an INFJ. So introvert, intuitive, feeling, and judger. But on some of them, I was a low percentage, which means I'm like borderline close to the opposite thing.
Yep, that's right.
That makes sense. I don't like hearing that I'm a judger, but you said I was low on that one.
But it's not bad to be judging versus perceiving. It's not a negative thing. It's just
right. It's like two ends of the same spectrum of, and it's the same nature, but the end. I get that. I get it.
You're analyzing. I think it has to do with analysis. A couple of them, especially the N and the last one.
Got you. So Flow State says that he disputes the results, but he thought that I would get that type. Like he assumed that was the type, but he disputes the results, which is interesting, Flow State, because I was trying to do it like where you said off of like me, because a lot of the way people would perceive me on here would not be introverted at all. It would be extroverted, which I'm not naturally. I'm just not. So yeah, I think it matches up.
Well, I think that the way that we just did this is super fun and I really enjoyed it. But the real way to take the test is for you to do it in private, maybe, and really fast, like I said before. So maybe when we put the song on and everyone else is doing the test, you can do it again really fast soon. Because as I was giving you the test, I kept thinking to myself, and this has happened a lot over the years, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be totally different now because I'm saying things that I feel like I didn't say before. And I'm like, oh, I've totally changed and I'm answering this question differently than I used to. But oddly, every time before in the past when I thought that, I still came out as an ENTJ. But this time, I feel like if I take the test right now, it is actually going to come out different. So I'm going to take it again.
Interesting. I wonder if it changes over time. Like the interesting part is the questions you were asking me, all my answers were based off like persistent behaviors of me. Like in a minute, I would try to think of like my whole life in different environments and how I react to things. And I was trying to do it like on not how I want to be, but how I really am. You know, so I was trying to be like as honest as possible, even though I'm doing it in front of all these people.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it will still come out the same when you do it by yourself, but by you doing it by yourself and quickly, it's kind of like us doing our due diligence to compare the
So
answers.
what were you again? What's your type?
I'm an ENTJ. So instead of an INFJ, I'm extroverted and thinking, where you're introverted and feeling.
Right, right.
And there's no good or bad for each type. Like you had a feeling about being a judger, but don't worry about it. It's not the negative connotation.
Yeah, I got it. Which is funny because I'd like to think, Rose, that I'm logical and thinking in my decisions, but I know about myself that I just go by like my feeling more than anything, like my instinct when it comes to like decisions about like my life and stuff. But certain things I'll be logical about, or I should say, I wish I was more logical. But I base things on feeling, like what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go in life. It's I'm kind of down to the intuition thing. So
Well,
totally cool. So like, okay, so if you were to like hire me for a position based off your experience, what would like a good position for me be that would be sustaining for me, like natural? Like, what would you think based off my personality type as a INFJ?
I would probably say account management, or tech support as opposed to sales or customer service. I also probably would not place you in a CEO position, not because I don't think you would excel at it. If you were forced to be a CEO, I think you would be terrific, but I just don't think you would be very happy in a CEO
Right.
position based on
It's funny you say about the sales thing. When I was early on in my career, my professional career, I had a private practice, right? And a lot of my practice involved selling, right? Because I was in business for myself. It's not like later on when I ended up at the pediatric hospital, it was just me and my patients. And like you said, I was in like middle management, I was developing protocols and stuff. And it was a good niche for me. But when I owned my own business, a lot of it was sales, revenue, and I didn't like it. That's why I got out of it. I ended up hating it. I was in it for like a number of years, and towards the end, I was miserable because I just didn't have that part of me, that extrovert part that wanted to be around people, that liked to hear myself talk over and over again, and I just couldn't exist in it. It was like naturally, I just vibrated away from it. So that's so funny to hear that.
And you know what's interesting is the ENTJ is like 2% of the population, and we are supposed to be the CEOs. But something I've come to realize about myself is that I like having a boss. Like, it doesn't mean I like being an order follower or I can't think for myself. It's just that I like to support and I like to see something that I believe in and just help to make it great, like teamwork. So it's kind of funny because we were joking earlier in a different show about how I would be like a puppeteering the dictator.
Yeah.
But I would like that. I would rather puppeteer the dictator and be like the person like whispering in their ear and giving them advice and telling them what to do, but not actually be the dictator. So I would
Right.
really want to be a CEO, even though I have the CEO personality type. I know I would do a good job at it, just like I know you would, but I would rather like be in a more supportive position. So that's why I want to take the test again, because I feel like maybe since becoming a truther, I think my personality may have changed a little bit because I trust in myself a little more. So I think I do rely on my feelings a little bit more now than before, because if I wasn't trusting of myself, then I was only relying on logic and like theoretical abstract ideas rather than within. So I'm really curious. And it'll be so funny if I'm still an ENTJ, even though I feel so different after looking at the questions right now.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so
Oh, it
funny.
was Divine Spark answering it, pretending to be you. Is
Well,
that what you're saying, Heidi?
Heidi, and for some reason, Heidi feels like she knows me, like the intimate parts of me. So she felt as though she would be able to answer the questions as I would, um, which is interesting because if anybody's going to know me, it's Heidi. She seems to study me. She seems to be very involved with whatever's going on with me, which is funny.
I don't like predicting people because it's so embarrassing when I'm wrong. But now that you've tested as an INFJ, I'm not surprised like flow state. And I would like to know what flow state thinks you would be, because
Interesting.
now an INFJ makes total sense to me.
Yeah. Like Flow State says, LOL, the part Z says he was missing is basically the main part of his personality, Flow States, which is funny because you can see that in our shows. Like Flow State likes the big panels. He likes conversation. He likes to chop it up with people. And I keep mine a little bit tighter. And when I have to talk to people, I do it because I like it and it's a good experience for me and I learn. But it affects me in a weird way, you know, having all those things. Like I had like 7 people on panel on Friday, and it was like too much for me. It was like overwhelming, right? So I could see that in our personalities. But I do think, Rose, like your like main, like, I don't know, like your best role is like the hand of the king. Like in Game of Thrones, how Tyrion was the hand of the throne, basically, where you're kind of in the background, you're making all the decisions, you're basically connecting people together, weaving spider webs, right? But not the person who's actually on the throne, but the one who's really in power. Like because I think you have like a secret desire for like ultimate power. Like I don't even think you need your power recognized, but like that smug smile that you have right now, like is that feeling that like I know you love when like you see something that you've like done, like the fruits of your labor come to fruition, and then you get to have that moment of like triumph and things like that, which is kind of dangerous because it means don't get on your bad side. That's one thing I know.
Yeah, yeah, that is probably accurate. I do like seeing the fruits of my labor being expressed in reality, especially when it comes to Crow 777 Radio. Like when I introduce different people to each other, or if I bring someone on the show and then their life changes in some way, or when people just hear a show and it helps them in some way. And it just, I don't know, I see how it's like a domino effect. Like I was just watching someone interviewing someone that we had a long time ago, and I remembered that it was after we had them on that they met this person and that person, and then now they're all over the place. I don't know, I just like seeing that.
Yeah. As our friend Smith W reminded, it's Crowley 777 radio, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
good
Well,
point.
Smith is against Z now, so that like that little like, you know, that little sort of resolution that you and he had with the Crowley thing, Smith now flipped to the other side. So now it's Crowley 777 for Mr. Smith.
So he doesn't like you anymore and he doesn't care for what you're doing, like
Well, it's really
towards that?
it's more about Mr. Smith W himself. When he's in a certain state of consciousness in his life, that basically dictates how he reacts with me and his feelings towards me. So right now he's in a bad place. You know, he's been hitting the bottle a little bit too much. So now it's I don't like Z. So now it's I'm going to go back on the Crowley 77 thing. It's like so many people do the same thing with me, Rose. It's just like they just repeat the same like wrote comments to me over and over and over again, and they're completely obsessed with me. They can't stop watching me or listening to me. They can't stop like throwing their opinions on me no matter how much I ignored them. Smith is one of them, and others and others.
That's fascinating. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
continue to enjoy observing all of these characters and what they're hyper focused on, because different people, they have like laser tunnel vision on like a few very specific things. And it's just interesting to see people's obsessions. And I guess people who are obsessed with certain things would put that attention towards the internet to try and share their feelings about what they're obsessed with and find others who are also obsessed with the same thing. Wow, interesting, Pamela's mystical musings. See, yeah, I was an ENTJ and now I feel like I'm going to test differently. So we'll see. Is there anyone else that wants to type in their types? I want to like type it out on a document and like memorize what people's types are. Anyway, I'll have to just go through the chat, but the chat does disappear, but I can always go back later. Anyway, I'm going to have to do some after show research on everybody who shares their type.
Right. Um it's funny, Rose, because I can see all the comments that people write to me that the chat can't see. It's so funny to see what the band listeners like say to me, and just shows how they're completely obsessed with me, Rose. You can probably see it from your end too, because you can probably hit the StreamYard thing, but it's just interesting to watch like what the band people say about me. People who I won't give the satisfaction of saying their name because that's what they want.
How
It's
will
just
I
funny
know
watching
if
it.
they're banned or not?
Oh, you won't. Yeah, you won't. Like I know they're banned because they're banned, but they're just
Okay.
completely obsessed with me, Rose. Like the obsession with me never ends. It's very strange and very dysfunctional on their part. It's
Yeah.
actually sad. And the person or people know who I'm talking about.
The show is interesting to me because it's like a sociology experiment. And that's why I like observing it from an outside perspective. But I know that I'm slowly getting sucked in because my panel behavior made Snafu upset. So when you're doing things, it makes people,
I
mad.
wouldn't worry about what Snafu thinks. Much love Snafu, but if that's like your test, if that's what you're using as like the standard for your behavior, you might want to rethink that.
Okay.
Much love Snafu. We do love you, but we do love you.
So
So
if you
fun.
want me to search on, let me see if I can find some more information about INFJ that I could read, because I could just say a bunch of bullshit, but I think it would be better if I read some official things about it. INFJ type. Let's see here. Let me see. INFJ is the advocate. It's a personality type with introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging traits. They tend to approach life with deep thoughtfulness and imagination. Their inner vision, personal values, and a quiet, principled version of humanism guide them in all things. Do you feel like that is accurate?
So you just gave me the overall for my personality type.
Mm-hmm.
One more time.
Okay. INF, are you distracted by the chat?
Yeah, well, I'm looking because flow state is. I don't know why I'm focused on
Lucy
flow
needs to
states because
come up here because he's really
well,
into.
I know he's into this. So like because I know he's into this, I'm like extra fixated on his comments. But he said something like he feels like he was taking issue with my F, but now he feels like he's okay with it.
Oh,
I
I'm
gotta stop.
totally okay with the
I gotta
F.
get over it.
I knew
Um,
that it was going to be an F flow state.
but go ahead. Sum up mine again. This is the whole part. This is what I wanted out of this whole thing. The thing you just said that I ignored. Go ahead one more time.
Okay. INFJ, the advocate, is a personality type with the introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging traits. They tend to approach life with deep thoughtfulness and imagination. Their inner vision, personal values, and a quiet, principled version of humanism guide them in all things.
Wow. I would agree. That's pretty damn accurate. That's kind of scary. That's very horoscopy, I know, but because you could say almost anybody could fit in that, but yeah, like I would agree with that more than disagree. Like if you rubber stamped me with that, I'd go, yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, then let me keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Idealistic and principled people with the INFJ personality type, advocates, aren't content to coast through life. They want to stand up and make a difference. For these compassionate personalities, success doesn't come from money or status, but from seeking fulfillment, helping others, and being a force for good in the world. While they have lofty goals and ambitions, INFJs shouldn't be mistaken for idle dreamers. People with this personality type care about integrity, and they're rarely satisfied until they've done what they know to be right. Conscientious to the core, they move through life with a clear sense of their values, and they aim to never lose sight of what truly matters, not according to other people or society at large, but according to their own wisdom and intuition. I like that. What do you think?
I mean, of course, but it makes everybody sound awesome, right? Like, what about somebody with my personality type, but like maybe is like a serial killer? Like,
Oh,
you know what I
okay.
mean? Would they?
Maybe, let me Google shitty things about
Yeah,
INFJs.
there
How's
you
that?
go.
What's what
Let's hear that
what
one.
sucks about INFJ? I wonder if anything will come up. If nothing comes up, we need to start our own website called What Sucks About. All right. Honest rant on why being an NFJ sucks from Reddit. Are you ready?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Honest rant about my
This is probably going to be more accurate about my life. Like the thing you said to me with like all the rosy things that sound wonderful about me, like it registered, but not really. I guarantee you this one's going to hit home. Go
Okay.
ahead. For some reason, I just know it. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Not meant to cover all INFJ individuals out there, just some common trends I've found in myself and other INFJs in my close circle. The INFJ type is pretty terrible, to be honest. Constant conflict with yourself and others. INFJs
Fuck. Honestly, I was right. That's actually more accurate. Go ahead. Keep going.
INFJs can seriously understand people, but for the most part, can't stand being around most of the population for that exact reason. Friend circles are habitually small. Often a best friend is simply not in the picture because nobody has so far been genuine enough. A focus on the past, others' injustices toward the INFJ, and regrets about their own actions means holding strong grudges and clinging onto anger for years. Perfectionism that doesn't allow them to fail at tasks, but huge fears always exist that bring too much friction to the momentum, resulting in procrastination.
Honestly, Rose, I'm glad you went to this Reddit page because this is actually nailing me. And here, more importantly, if you got like 20 people from my life and you read this to them, they'd all be emphatically shaking their head. Like if you got my siblings, any friends that I had, everybody would be shaking their head to this one because people like to bust my balls, which is fine. But this is accurate. Go ahead. I need to hear this, please. This will help me, everybody, please.
Yeah, I think this is becoming way more helpful than we expected. Okay.
Yeah.
Extremely susceptible to eating disorders and mental health issues due to the need for beauty, perfectionism, satisfaction, sensory stimulation. Frequent burnouts are almost a guarantee. Exhaustion from overall stress, threats from others, especially professors, employers, peers about self-worth, and a vital need for enjoyable and fulfilling activities means procrastination on almost everything, aspects of life that people
This
hate.
is hitting way too close to home, Rose. I'm almost like, this is
INFJs
fucked up. Go ahead.
can also
please.
get aggressive and seclusive if their needs aren't met. Some positives that are often but not always present: artistic ability, writing skills, foreign language skill, musical talent, culinary arts, interior design, landscaping, fashion, biology, environmental sciences, social sciences, history, etc. Contrary to what many say, I don't think that teaching is a good fit for INFJs because of an extreme low tolerance for the majority of personality types and an aversion to failure and criticism. Best jobs probably would be a researcher, artist. Honestly, being a home parent, if the mental health issues aren't that bad, INFJ is going to rely on a therapist, counselor, and or prescriptions frequently to unload the inevitable baggage of life.
With that, Rose, I think we just hit the money shot of this whole segment because that was too, and this was just a random Reddit thing. These people know what they're talking about. That's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's so fun because people have been like meeting with each other. Like I've been trying to find other ENTJs online for like 20 years, and you start to see there's actually a huge community of people who are proud to be NTs, intuitive thinkers. That's like their own subgroup. I wonder if Flow State has ever hung out with the NT crowd. Are you a proud NT, Flow? But there's actually someone that like replied to them and said that their attitude needs a small shift. Do you want to hear what they think? Or you had enough?
Well, hold on. Let's take a quick musical interlude, and then we'll invite people to come up and talk about it. How's that? And we can talk with them about their personality types.
Good, because I'm dying to take the test myself and find out if I'm still an ENTJ. Flow State's an ESTJ, which I've a couple of times tested as an ESTJ when I was younger. So I don't know. Maybe that's what.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the link to join the panel in chat. Feel free to come on up, chop it up with us, and we'll be back in a few moments. I may play 2 songs to give Rose and other people time to do this, or just one, and I may bullshit. Either way, come on up. Links in the chat. Much love, everybody. Thanks for being here. More Z Show in a few moments. Take it away, Mr. Lucky.
The scene was an old roadside cafe.
Yeah, baby.
The waitress sweeping the floor. The two truck drivers drinking their coffee. And two okie kids by the door. How much for them candies, they asked her. Well, how much have you got? She replied. Well, we've only 1 penny between us. Well, they're 2 for a penny, she lied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, with the smell of the rain on the wind. Isn't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. And the truck drivers cried at the waitress after the boys went outside. Hey, them candies, they ain't 2 for no penny. Yeah, what's it to you? She replied. Well, in silence, they finished their coffee. And they stood up, they nodded goodbye. She said, hey, you guys left way too much money. Yeah, what's it to you? They replied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, with the smell of the rain on the wind. Isn't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. Isn't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. Here comes that rainbow.
That's right, everybody. Mr. Lucky Haskins reminding us that here comes that rainbow again. Much love. The rainbow. The covenant of good times, the covenant of peace. And also, it's the symbol to all our LGBT brothers and sisters. Much love. No hate. I mean, okay, you co-opted the rainbow. You made it yours now. Now every time I have to see a rainbow, it's all about the LGBT community. Fine. Have the rainbow. It is what it is. But yeah, no surprise. That segment really hit at the end there when Rose basically, when I had her look up the negative qualities of the INFJ, which is a weird part. What does that say about my personality, Rose? You don't have to answer if you're doing something, but when you were reading off like all the sunny positive qualities about that personality type, I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of sounds good, like a horoscope. And then as soon as you went into the negative ones, I'm like, yeah, that fucking nails it.
I
Like-
just took the test again and I can't believe it. I'm not an ENTJ anymore. And I've been so used to being an ENTJ and proud of being an ENTJ for so long that I am in shock and I'm ready to read my new truther ascended personality type and find out about myself.
Interesting. So you've been affected by this whole journey you've been on.
Yeah, because the last time I took the test was 2020 with my old co-host from the Poppycock Report, and I was a blatant ENTJ. And now I
It wouldn't
realize,
surprise me, Rose. Look, even you just basically pointing out that that like the last 4 years has changed you in a deep way, where your personality was affected. I could understand that. This is like I don't know, people go through stages like quantum leaps in like consciousness and things. That doesn't surprise me. And like you said, it was only like one of the factors that changed. So but go ahead. What was the one that changed?
I went from a thinker to a feeler. I'm an ENFJ. And it says here that ENFJs are the benevolent pedagogues of humanity. They have tremendous charisma by which many are drawn into their nurturant tutelage and or grand schemes. Many ENFJs have tremendous power to manipulate others with their phenomenal interpersonal skills and unique salesmanship. But it's usually not meant as manipulation. ENFPs generally believe in their dreams and see themselves as helpers and enablers, which they usually are.
Wow, another one that kind of nails you. That kind of is exactly. All right, let's let up Flow State because he seems rather passionate. You know what's funny, Flow State? When Rose proposed this segment for the show, I thought of Flow State because I know he's into this. Like when I first met Flow State, this was one of the first things he asked me, Rose. We're going back over a year ago. We're going back maybe 14 months ago in my first conversation with Flow State. Luckily, I have a pretty good memory. And the first question he asked me was, what's my personality type? And I couldn't fucking answer him. Hey, Flow State, now we know. INFJ.
Z, let me read. I want to have a funeral right now for my old self of 35 years. The ENTJs have a natural tendency to marshal and direct. This may be expressed with the charm and finesse of a world leader or with the insensitivity of a cult leader. The ENTJ requires little encouragement to make a plan. One ENTJ put it this way: I make these little plans that really don't have any importance to anyone else and then feel compelled to carry them out. While compelled may not describe ENTJs as a group, nevertheless, the bent to plan creatively and to make those plans reality is a common theme for NJ types. So that's the old me. And now.
All right. Yeah. No, the new one matches you much better. It does. That's crazy. It's fucking nuts. Flow State, welcome to the show, Flow State.
Thank you. I'm over my hesitance to you being an F type. I'm all with you being INFJ now.
Which is funny, Flow State, because I thought I was more thinking than feeling also. But when I really evaluate myself, no, I'm more feeling. I definitely am. Like, I wish I was less, but I'm not.
There's a paradigm with the questions about thinking and feeling that I probably, in my own mind, overcorrect for, which is that objectively, all humans respond more with their emotions than with logic. And I think that thinkers are more apt to notice and then offset for that. So I think that I was offsetting for you in my own head with those questions.
Interesting point on that one. They're totally interesting. Hold on. Let me talk to Mateo. Mateo says, "What is this?" You see, Mateo, this is your problem. We should give Mateo the personality test.
Yeah, please, Mateo, please take the test and then come up and tell us what you are.
Yeah, let me drop it for him. Because I'd imagine his personality is whatever the most fucked up one is. But I know there's not supposed to be like a moral implication like with this test. Like I get it, but for some reason for Mateo, I feel like there would be one. I'm just saying.
Well, Google helped me before, so let's see if it helps me again. I'm going to type in what is the most fucked up young typology type. Someone's going to, here we go. Reddit.
INFJ. It's INFJ. That's my guess.
Well, they're wanting me to be more specific, like the most ruthless is the ENTJ, like what I used to be.
INFJ is what they normally attribute Hitler as being and Jesus. So I don't know how people came to these conclusions.
Are you serious? That doesn't surprise me, honestly. It doesn't surprise me. That makes sense. Flow state, my life is a study in contradiction, dude. It just is. I'm also a Libra, which is apparently that's supposed to mean something regarding me. I don't know what it is, but that's like my thing. It's a push pull. It's why I have such difficult time with relationships. It's why it's not that people love me or hate me, flow state. It's that they love me and hate me at the same exact time. They hold those two seemingly contradictory feelings, as which my audience basically evidences, like a love and hate towards me at the exact same time. I could name almost everybody in my audience that fits basically, you know, that feeling towards me. This is so weird.
So if you get deeper into the nitty gritty of the typology shit and over into socionics, which is the Russian version of MBTI, which I actually prefer, they did a lot more in depth shit. You need to find a chick who's like me in ESTP because we're dual types, which is basically in all the intertype relationships the most likely to get along.
Oh wow. Right. I need an agreeable person. You're right about that. I don't like any I don't like any like conflict or contradiction from like my significant other. I don't deal with it well, and I'll just reject that relationship. You're on point with that one, no doubt.
And here it's about dual relationships, and I'm reading from a book here. It says in dual pairs there are rarely conflicts, and if they arise, they are quickly and painlessly resolved. Partners fit together like two halves of a torn photograph. Basically, if you get into the cognitive functions, like introverted feeling is a function, extroverted thinking is a function. We actually all three on the stage share the same 4 valued cognitive functions. Yours and mine, we have exactly the same function stacked, just flipped upside down. So it's like yin and yang.
Well, let me ask you something, Flow State. What got you so interested in this? Because some people will argue, look, like this test was based on, you know, not Jungian, but Jung, Jung, the psychologist. So psychology is like a pseudoscience at best, and a lot of people argue that it's bullshit. I argue that it gives us a framework through which to discourse, to basically categorize things, and the fact that when Rose read the summation of my personality type, that it fucking matched so well. There has to be something to it. It can't be mere bullshit and conjecture, because it described me very, very accurately, much to my chagrin, because I don't want to be like the way I am, Flow State. I just am the way I am. You get it? Like, I want to be different. Like, ideally, I want to be like extroverted. I want to be out amongst people. And it's one of my great sadnesses that I'm not, but it just is who I am, dude. Go ahead. Your thoughts.
No, I think, you know, there's no use in fighting against who we are. I do think that over time and age, people's extreme preferences tend to balance out more. But for me, so you're both NFJ types, which are quite empathetic, whether you like it or not. I'm an STP type, which is quite unempathetic. And so for me, when I stumbled across this tool, the ability to understand people in a grid-like formula was very useful for me, especially since at that time I was getting divorced from a psycho chick. I was I was getting custody of my 2-year-old daughter. I was managing 2 bank branches staffed entirely of women. And I realized that there's a level of emotional and interpersonal nuance that I'm missing. So it was really a supplementary tool for me to understand what the two of you probably understand more naturally than I do, which is the differences in people.
Right. And that made me, it's funny you say that. I was a really good in management. Like, the people under me, they all like gave me good reports on my management skills. It's not just like, oh, they said they liked me. You know, the organization that I was in, they would do like performance reports and performance evaluation. And I always scored very high in terms of that, in my ability to, let's say, relate to or empathize with the people who I was managing, my direct reports, we call them. You know, we don't call them like subordinates. We call them like our directs, the people who reported to us. But it was flow state. It was a mind fuck for me because I was a pushover, dude. Like if a chick came to me, I worked with a bunch of, so basically I managed a bunch of other audiologists. They were all AUDs or doctors of audiology, and they were mostly women, right? It was a pediatric hospital. Most practitioners in pediatric hospitals tend to be female. It's just the way it is. And so they'd come to me and it'd be like, oh, I'm going through IVF. And, the other thing, Rose, in flow state is out of like the 14 or 15 people that I was supervising, 4 of them at once were going through in vitro fertilization procedure, which is a whole nother topic, is that these like boss babe, modern, independent working chicks were having a tough time getting pregnant to the tune of all of them couldn't conceive naturally. But I was such a pushover because they'd be like, oh, I have to go home because my temperature is a certain thing. And I just got the procedure 2 days ago and I can't have any stress. So I would stay late, take their fucking patients in, move heaven and earth to accommodate every little whim to the point where I was a pushover, working like 16 hours a day, losing my mind. And so it's like a plus and minus, but me being a pushover was always a common theme in my life. But then what I do is then I react in the opposite way. So I'll go so much time being a pushover, and then one day I'll fucking drop the hammer on people and it'll look like I'm going crazy and it'll look aggressive and people think I'm fucking nuts because I just hit my threshold, and then I just go to the opposite direction and I cut your ass off and people think I'm nuts. So anyway,
there's actually a phrase for that with INFJs. It's called the INFJ door slam.
Are you serious, dude?
I swear to God.
This show's turning out better than I thought. I'm actually
Rose, you're muted.
You know so much more about this than I do, and I'm so happy because I would rather learn from talking to people, so I can just talk to you and learn instead of reading a book about it. Like you have a book about it. I never thought to buy a book about it. I just keep taking the test over and over again and making other people take the test and then talking to them about how they feel after taking the test. And I feel like I know a lot about it, but you know a lot more because
if anybody is interested in buying books about it, I recommend this book, Psychological Types by Victor Galenko. It's the bee's knees.
Cool.
So
man.
I don't know if you answered this, Flo, but have you done this personality profile on your current wife?
Yes.
And what do you think of it? How's it fit in? Are you simpatico?
She's an ISFP, and it fits in about exactly like it said it would. At first, we fought a lot, and then we figured each other out.
Wow. It's funny because you know what? That's probably the recipe. I see you back there, Snafu. I see you. Hold on. I don't want to just... See, here's the thing, Flow State. I don't want to just unleash Snafu on the panel because I know he's going to go in on you hard, Flow State.
Right.
And we're actually having a productive
I dip out wherever Snafu is.
Yeah, exactly. And you just took the words out of my mouth. See, Snafu, this is my third panelist who says to me, if I bring you up, that they're going to fucking leave. So now I have to make decisions, Snafu. Because although I enjoy you as a contributor in my to my show, I understand how your behavior and your accusations repel people and will repel people from my show. So now I'm having an engaging conversation with Flow State where I'm learning, my audience is learning, fucking Rose is learning, and I got you staring menacingly in the fucking camera, looking like one of the thuggies from Indiana Jones Temple of Doom 2, like you're going to do a fucking Kali blood ritual where you rip my heart out of my chest. I know you're Indian and I don't want to fucking stereotype you, but that's another thing, Rose. I was learning about the thuggies, this like Indian Kali death cult and shit from, India. That was depicted in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. They're apparently a real thing. I was watching the movie Around the World in 80 Days last night, and they referenced the thuggies, which I'm going to do a presentation on that movie. See, I have 2 Bexes here, and the other one I realized was a sock account Bex. Now I'm going to need to verify this one. Hold on. Because Bex, you keep changing your fucking name. Yeah, they're all fake Bexes now. Everybody with fake. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So anyway, Snafu left, but I just want to get this out real quick. Um, so that's my problem with you, Snafu. Is I've had multiple people now tell me that they're no longer going to contribute to my show if I keep entertaining your fucking goofy ass, dude. What does that say, man? Go ahead, somebody else take it away.
It says that Snafu's a one-trick pony and he needs to evolve.
Well, he's like spiraling in the chat. Flow State, do you know that like Rose is very intimately involved with like Snafu and all his understandings? She spends time like interacting with him, trying to understand. Rose, do you feel as though that's been a fruitful endeavor for you so far, trying to understand Snafu, or where are you with that whole thing?
Well, I don't think that your description was as accurate as it could be. We had a very long, good conversation on the phone, but it was only
That was
once.
very delicately put.
And since then, he has been sharing with me his material. And something that I appreciated about his recent material that he's been sending me is that a lot of it has not been about people on the internet, but more, showing more of the big picture of truthiness. And so that's what I've appreciated. And so naturally, it's just extremely devastating, Flow State, to hear these accusations against you from Snafu, because I don't know why he would make these accusations without any evidence. So it's terribly concerning to me, because I want to be friends with everyone and I want Snafu to love and appreciate me and accept me for who I am. But I want to be free to converse and analyze all of the human beings that I want in this human experiment.
Yeah, well, that's not what you get with Snafu.
Are you saying he's not human? Are you saying he's like an alien? Well, here's the funny thing. He's been spiraling since you came up. And I like you, Snafu, but like, all right, here's my main thesis on Snafu, everybody. I don't think he's genuine when he says that Flow State's a pedo supporter. I don't believe that he actually thinks that. So then I have to wonder, what's his agenda? Is it just a smear campaign? And what are his motivations?
Yeah, I guess I just assume everybody knows at this point that his agenda is against Monograph. And Monograph and I got to know each other actually because of Snafu, because he was running his narrative, insisting I go along with saying Monograph is a pedophile when I don't know this person at all. So I looked into it. I looked into the stuff that Snafu provided me, and there was not shit there. Monograph, they've got their own history where he wanted Monograph to go after somebody, and Monograph told him no. And so he's vindictive against Monograph and anybody who's associated with Monograph, which is me now, thanks to the Snafu. Snafu is the glue that holds the Flow State and Monograph crew.
The other thing I think is funny is that he said, love how Flo, the pedo supporter, and others give Z ultimatums. He didn't give me an ultimatum. His exact quote was, I generally don't go to places that welcome Snafu, which I practice myself, Snafu, but with other people. Do you understand? Like, there's certain channels, if they entertain certain personalities more or less, I'll avoid those because I don't want to be embroiled in that energy. So that's just the way it is, man. You need to look at this yourself, Snafu. This is where you need to evaluate your whole beingness, your presentation, and evaluate where that is, because I like you, Snafu, but the reality is Flow State doesn't come up here and make baseless accusations about people. So when I weigh, okay, Flow State's presentation versus Snafu's presentation, then I'll make a decision on that, dude. And he has a lot more credibility than you. Plus, Snafu, don't forget, you already fucking tried to dox me and you lied about me in the process. And then you doubled down when I called you on your lie. And you still haven't owned up to it. So maybe after Flow State leaves and you want to come up and finally own up to the fucking bullshit doxing session that you did on me. And I don't expect you to apologize, but I want you to at least be truthful, dude. I don't need you to fucking apologize, dude. Well, anyway, I don't want to make this all about Snafu. I don't even know how we got here. Sorry.
It's an interesting display, though, in how the different personality types handle Snafu. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it more without having to drag everybody through a course on the cognitive functions. But you can clearly see, at least I can, you both with higher feeling valuing, trying to address this human concern, and me
Right.
with a lower feeling concern going, fuck that human concern.
Right.
It's not
You
a
know what's
concern.
funny, Flow State? There's probably 3 or 4 people in this panel verse that you and I have that same type of dynamic with, where I'm more of like trying to understand them, bring them in, discourse with them, where you're just draw a line on fucking people and you're okay, and then you move on from that. That is interesting. Very interesting.
Would it be all right if I read the description from my favorite typology website of the ESTP, and then it will help me to understand flow state more?
I'm all good with it.
Wait, is he an ESTP? How do we know that?
I just thought I heard him say that.
It's yeah. I've taken the tests and I've studied it some.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about snafu. We're back to
No,
flow states.
Snafu doesn't
Gotcha.
have enough brain left to
Yeah,
have a
it's
full
like-
4 letters. He's just an ES.
You should have saw him in the backstage, guys. He just had his camera on and he had it real close, like this.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's so scary.
He was just menacingly staring at me. I gotta pull up a picture of the fucking thuggy cult. Snafu, I know you're Indian, you know, dot not feather. I want you to investigate your lineage. I guarantee you, one of your ancestors was part of the thuggy Kali death worship cult. I'm guaranteeing it. If Indiana Jones taught me anything, it taught me that. Go ahead, Rose. And I have some other guests I want to start letting up. I see you in the back. Please hold.
Okay. Yes, this will conclude the segment. Flow state is the ESTP. ESTPs are, I'm just reading the first paragraph, by the way, but they're all usually really good. ESTPs are spontaneous, active folks. Like other SPs, ESTPs get great satisfaction from acting on their impulses. Activities involving great power, speed, thrill, and risk are attractive to the ESTP. Chronic stifling of these impulses makes the ESTP feel dead inside. So basically, if anyone wants to be in a relationship with flow state, don't ever say like, don't go skydiving.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Don't ever say don't do at all.
Flow state, let me ask you. So, though, based off what Rose just read, I'd imagine that your history, and I do know a little bit about your history, but I don't want to assume. I imagine like that personality type has led you down some, let's say, rocky, adventurous, and somewhat dangerous roads. I mean, can you like either confirm or deny that?
I can confirm.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I assume that everybody's guilty of this to some extent, but it seems especially pronounced in me is I've spent most of my life assuming everybody's just like me, and they're not. And so when I turned 21, I specifically remember the number of people who congratulated me on making it to 21 was sort of like, well, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Wow. So you must have been really fucking out there, dude. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always liked, there's a meditative state at some point that you get into, like fighting, for instance. I've always liked, I was a brawler, for lack of better words, and at some point there are activities like this where it's outside of the safety ropes and you sort of enter a meditative state to engage it. And I've really always liked and actually that's what the flow state name is even about. When I started the channel, there was 2 of us and both of us had the same personality type. And it's a nod to a conversation we had lamenting the fact that for us to enter a flow state, basically shit has to be in an emergency.
Interesting. I also imagine that there's a certain type of female, most females, that are innately and sort of like instinctually attracted to that type of behavior from a male. Women seem to be attracted to, these guys that are out there living these kind of wild lives. Did that play out in your life?
Yeah, it did. And ESTPs are typically considered to be both the most masculine and the most feminizing type.
Interesting. That doesn't surprise me. All right, let me let up my next guest. Let me get his music going. Flow State, my next guest was actually on your show the other night. Maybe he was there trolling for women because he is the flat Earth gigolo.
Oh.
So,
I already know
You know
what
what
you're
I'm
talking about.
you know what I'm talking about, Flow State?
I do.
Let's welcome him up. Harmon, welcome back to Z Show. Good to see you.
See what you did to me?
Which one of us?
Oh, no, it was Z who did it first.
Wait,
Then
what the fuck is that?
basically put it on.
Wait, hold on a
microphone.
second. You got a microphone now. It sounds like
I've
the
had
same
it
old
for-
shitty.
It's not.
What?
Tap on the mic. I don't think it's on. Tap on it. Tap it. It's not on.
Not on.
I knew it. I knew it. It still sounds like your old shitty fucking mic, dude. You're still yelling at the
hey.
computer.
Well, aesthetics.
It looks
Hold
nice,
on.
though.
Hold on. Try turning it on. Try turning it on. I
Well,
want to
it's
hear
not-
what your new mic sounds like. Come on.
The blue light, the light is on.
All right, hold on. Go in your StreamYard setting. We're going to walk them through this. Hold on.
Settings.
You are the American Gigolo, so we need to get your voice right.
All right.
All right, in your StreamYard settings, go to audio, and there's a drop-down button. It'll give you a choice of your microphones.
Audio.
And it'll say
says-
microphone, not speaker.
All right. Automatic adjust. It says echo. Says reduce mic background noise.
No. Above that, it says microphone. You hit the
Oh,
drop-down arrow, and it'll give you a choice of your microphones.
Okay. There we go. How's that now?
That's better. You're in now. Let's go ahead. Keep talking.
So last night when Flo was giving me a hard time about it, and I pulled it out of the box. It's been a year in the box. But because you were acting
Dude,
so
it
much
sounds
like,
dude, it sounds a million times better, dude.
well, you were being such a Morris the cat. Huh? What, Rose? I took your test,
Use
Rose.
those headphones now, Harmon, and plug them into the mic. So sorry.
Yeah, it's echoing now, dude. So you got to
I got to
Where's
turn the
the-
other one on.
put
Go back to
now,
settings.
go to back to settings and hit echo cancellation. Other than that, you're gonna have to change your speaker. Come on,
Okay.
Harmon. This is a live fucking broadcast.
Okay. So I'm in my settings. Echo, cancel. Done. Gotcha.
All right, you're better now.
Yeah, it reminds me of that.
It's still bad. It's
Go
still
ahead.
bad.
It's bad.
Surefire way to resolve
Yeah.
the issue is to use headphones. That's a surefire way, unless you want to just keep fucking around and playing.
Right. Do you have headphones that you could?
Yeah, I do.
All right. I'm gonna put you in the back. You're gonna fucking figure it out.
Okay.
I know he's not a boomer. I don't think. He said
He's a
he's.
boomer.
Well, let's think about it. He said he's like 65 or 66. Does that make him boomer? Yeah, I guess it does.
Right. Yeah. On the cusp.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut him some slack. But he had his time. He had his day and age.
Well, I just want to make a final statement to Snafu, which is that from my experiences having spent time with Flow State, I don't think that he condones the behaviors that you're saying he condones. And so that must be because he is not convinced that the allegations you made against the person that he's supposedly supporting are not convincing enough, Snafu. So I would say instead of being mad at Flow State and hating on him so much, isn't the onus on you to convince him to his satisfaction that this terrible situation is actually occurring? Because Flow State on his heart doesn't want to make a mistake either. We all are searching for the truth, and you have to provide us enough information so we can be as certain as you are, because the information that you provided is not proof that it's occurring. It's
Right.
like there's a crazy abstract artistic
Correct.
video that you find
Yes.
effective, and I can tell you that I've been involved in a lot of weird and creepy and funny videos, just because like in the beginning
Right.
YouTube age, me and my friends, we would just come up with the weirdest things and upload them.
I would say it's proof of the opposite, actually, for me. It's proof that he knows that he's lying. The evidence that he gave me is so bad, it's proof that he knows he's lying.
Yes, that's my point, Flow State, with regarding Snafu, is that
Do you see us
when he
realizing
all right,
now?
listen, listen, Flow State. When he lied about me, okay, and I knew he was lying about me because it was about me, and I confronted him on it. He continued to lie, and he knew he was caught in it, and that's why has no credibility in my book, dude. But he's gonna keep sticking on this thing. It's just a weird energy to embody Snafu. It's very crazy, dude.
And also, Snafu, since I care about you, I think that you're hyper focusing on this. This is something that you're obsessing about. And I just hope that you can free yourself from this and focus on other things like you've been doing on your channel, the bigger picture. If you could break free of all of the emotions you feel associated with this, unless you can come up with more evidence, then you're gonna have a hard time convincing people. And it seems like that's all you do. All you do is try to convince people of this one thing. And I'm telling you right now, as your friend who cares about you, that what you're doing is not convincing anyone of anything by typing in caps the same sentences over and over again. So that's how I feel right now. That's where I'm at. And I really would like to still have good feelings between us. But if you can't forgive me for where I'm at, then I understand.
That's funny.
I want to go ahead and make it clear that she might still care about you, but I don't.
I care about you. See, we're evidencing our personality types. This is funny.
I was hoping that you would step in that one.
This is so funny. Let me ask both Rose and Flow State this question. So people who show up here with like sock accounts pretending to be other people, should they be banned right away? Because there's two Bex factors in my chat, neither of whom are the actual Bex. So what do I do?
I mean, personally, I do typically, if something's an overt fake, I typically do ban it. I ban bots and fakes, and most of the other people who I ban Snafu, of course, as well too. But I also go through my block list once a week and clean it out. So even people who like Brit is somebody who's around a lot who says things that annoy me. I'll throw Brit in the dunk tank for a week and then move Brit out.
He's Brit's. I think Brit's still active in my chat. Yeah, Brit's still active in my chat. Let's let Harmon back up. See how he's doing. Snafu looking like a fucking thuggy is back. Snafu, how am I going to let you up now that you've shown yourself to be so disingenuous and dishonest? What does that say? It's unbelievable. Let's let Harmon up first and see what's going on with him. God, this is crazy. All right, Harmon, try out your audio.
I'm messing with you.
Hey, that's like perfect.
There you go. How you like
tap
that,
your
mister?
Tap your microphone again.
Well, this is just my coming through this.
Okay, so you have a whole different setup. All
yeah.
Right. So what you can do is you can actually choose the speaker to be your headsets and your microphone to be your good microphone. You could actually separate those.
I'll figure it out next time. Hey, Rose,
Yeah.
you hurt my feelings a little. I was so bragging that you followed me onto Flo's show, and I was honored that you said that. I mean, and then today you said, well, Snafu talked to you and made me feel bad, you know, that you were using me as an excuse at the end to go on the flow.
I think there's been a misunderstanding here. Anything that happened with Snafu is completely separate from last night going on.
You said you went on to the show because you followed me, and then Snafu got a hold of you today, and he just chewed on your ear. And that's the way you took it. I know you took it that way, Z, because you commented on it. And so that's what you said. You said, well, I followed him there. I didn't know that. So, you know, that
No. Snafu needs to come to terms that with right now, I'm officially stating that I had a really good time on the Flow State channel last night, and I haven't seen enough evidence to support his claims. And so as much as I want to please him and make him a happy person, I can't in this situation because I feel like the right thing to do is to support the person in the situation who I think is innocent, which is Flow State.
Well, I just tell you, last night you were all the poppycock and all the baby chew, all the shows I've ever seen you on. You shined the best last night. You did. You and Flo intellectually are there. That's the problem. Flo I just realized after being on Flo's show like 2 or 3 times, he dumbs it down when he talks to me. He has to come down to my level. But when you came there, you guys were flowing. It was awesome.
Rose tends to have that effect on people. It's a Rose thing. Let's make sure this is the real Bex. Bex, is this you?
Test. 1, 2, 3. C'est moi. Nice to see you all.
It sounds like the
Yeah.
lovely Bex. So Bex,
Well, thank you.
why do I think it's sock accounts? I guess you just have like secondary and tertiary channels.
Yeah. Well, do you want the fun story or the real story? The fun story.
Go ahead, whatever you want.
CSIS has given me a raise and a month off production if I want it. So the Bex Factor channel has been hidden. Shout out socialism and Viva Cuba. That being said, so yes, I apologize that my zero account and Bex Unabashed, inspired by Yuzi, saying to be unapologetically myself. Zero is me, and so is Bex Unabashed is me.
Which is funny because I also inspired the Bex name. So that's a double Z inspiration.
Well, it's funny because Sherelle is taking that too. I thought you took credit for the factor part. London actually called me Bex the first time I was on his stage. But yes, a group. I am an amalgamation. I am a figment of your guys' imagination.
Right.
Voila.
Well, I was the
am.
originator of the X Factor title, which got then related by London Man to the Bex Factor. So that's
London. No, just to be clear, London just called me Bex. That was the name he called me. He never said anything factor. But just to be clear.
Oh, gotcha. Then you added the factor part.
Yes. And then, all of us through our collective consciousness and our magnetosomes and our close collective, heart-centered love and light, flat earth and all that jazz community. Here I am.
Oh, so now you're in the flat earth community. I thought you weren't, and I was an asshole for presenting flat earth math. Okay. It's funny how that works.
I took the test, Z. I took that test.
Wait, hold on. Harmon took the test. All right, Rose, flow states, pay attention. What's your results, Harmon?
INFP.
Get the fuck out.
What's that mean?
Wow.
That means that you answered upside down as fuck.
Did I really?
Come on, Flo. How would you presume to know Harmon's personality? How would you presume to know that?
Because he's for one, I can tell you that he's not an introvert.
Definitely not. That part I didn't understand.
Right.
But I did what Rose said. I answered as quick as I could. Like Rose said, you got to answer first response. Is that right, Rose?
Yeah, I think you should. But I mean, it doesn't mean you don't think about it. I mean, you thought about it and you gave your reaction.
No, you don't. You said as quick as you can is and read the question and answer.
No, I bet he is an introvert, Flo. I bet he spends most of his time in that fucking living room. Besides his golfing buddies, Harmon doesn't have anybody in his life, right?
That's exactly right. 100%.
Harmon has been, ever since we met over here a few nights ago, Harmon has been on my panel every time from the start to finish. Now, I could tell that you're an introvert because you don't join panels. You watch a lot more than you join.
That's correct.
But
like
Flo,
I watched Harmon on your panel, but wouldn't join. It's like I watch Bex Factor with Steven on her panel, but she had no clue I was watching that. So we could talk about that, Bex, if you want.
One thing about that, Flo, is I like when you connect it to another channel or send to another, I won't go to those. You got to realize you're the only panel I ever will go on.
Let me read the INFP.
Okay.
All right. So this is Harmon's. You're going to give us what Harmon is?
It says 6% introvert. 19% intuitive, and 28% feeling, and 44% perceiving.
Cool.
Right, hold on, let's soak up your music for a second.
I want to know what that means.
All right, Rose, floor's yours.
All right. INFPs never seem to lose their sense of wonder. One might say that they see life through rose-colored glasses. It's as though they live at the edge of the looking glass world where mundane objects come to life, where flora and fauna take on near human qualities. INFP children often exhibit this in a Calvin and Hobbes fashion, switching from reality to fantasy and back again. With few exceptions, it is the NF child who readily develops imaginary playmates, as with Anne of Green Gables' bookcase girlfriend, her own reflection, and whose stuffed animal comes to life like the Velveteen Rabbit and Skin Horse. Is that?
What?
Is that? Does that feel right?
Anna Green Gables, who the hell's that?
Come on, man.
I know who
you
it
don't
is.
know.
I know who it is.
How about
I know
how
who
about
it
the
is.
Velveteen Rabbit? One of my favorite books, Rose. The Velveteen Rabbit. Love that book.
The
Does
opportunity.
that sound like you, Harmon?
I bet you if you read it opposite, it'd be like Z. That Reddit one.
Do you want me to read what sucks about being an INFP?
Is that what do you think, Z? It's your show.
Of course, that's always the better part. Is the part that we get to shit on each other's personality. If it happened to me, Harmon, we're gonna give it to you too, man. Go ahead, Rose.
Okay, what sucks about being an INFP? Let's hope that someone felt compelled to ask that. Oh, it says like a general thing came up saying INFPs are passive aggressive because we really dislike conflict. We are inclined to express our displeasure indirectly and unclearly.
I'm definitely not passive aggressive. I'm definitely not that. I'll go knock your head off in a second. And golf and anything, it just no. Yeah, I'm direct on.
Maybe you're just not in touch with it, Harmon. Because I could see that about you.
Quick, maybe I
could see that about. I bet if we asked your ex-wife, she'd probably disagree with what you just said.
Oh my God, she knows me too much. I know. She's too good. There ain't nothing but about an ex-wife that doesn't know about you that you don't even know about yourself.
Okay.
So,
Maybe that was just a shitty description. Let me try.
Let me offer a thought on what happened with Harmon, because I think that he typed as his dual, which is a common phenomenon. Just like Z and I are duals. I believe that if I had to guess, I would guess his type is ESTJ, which is the dual of INFP. And the reason that people type as their dual is because the dual's strengths, like fish don't recognize that they're in water, right? We don't recognize our own strengths. It's just so automatic. But what we do recognize is things that we value and have to work at, right?
Or our weaknesses. You're saying we see our weaknesses.
Well, valued weaknesses. There are weaknesses that we don't care about, and there are weaknesses that we do care about. And so a lot of people take the test and they associate with the things that they're aware of, because your strengths are so automatic, you're not even really aware of it most of the time.
Yeah, one thing you know, going to your show is I just do that. You and Z, I won't go to another show. Like when you say you do like that, I just won't go. Rose, I've been following for years. I mean, how can you not follow Rose? Right? Isn't that right, Rose?
I think so. If you were watching in 2020.
Well, I was watching before that. I was watching with Jaron. I was watching you every time. I was watching when you were doing stuff with Karen B. When you were with Karen B.
I've only came onto the internet as a live streamer in 2020.
No, you were on the show with people.
In 2020, yeah.
Yeah, before you didn't talk to nobody before that?
Before that,
I don't remember.
Totally secret and behind the scenes.
All right, but see, I knew about Rose before 2020 when she and Jason first got together. He was as giddy as a schoolgirl on Crow 777 talking about his new girlfriend, Rose. And I was like, who could this Rose be, right? And we're going back, that's got to be 6 years ago. And then years later, like Harmon said, she would pop up on that Jaron Baby Truther show, and she'd come on Stavely's, and I was like, oh, I like this Rose. And then she showed up on my channel after I started basically talking shit on her, like most people. Not in a bad way. I was basically saying, like, you know, I was making sexual comments. Okay, let's just say it the way it is. I won't be, yeah. You know, so next thing you know, Rose shows up because she's got fucking lady balls. When she called me out on it, she said, it's funny, I turned your show on, and the first thing you were doing was telling the audience how smart you are, which makes me realize that you're probably not that smart because nobody does that. So she called me out, and then she got into a fight with James from Grounded Extract, and I just started laughing.
Oh, you last night when they brought you up, her and Flo had a disagreement about what you got going on in the background. She really thinks you have 4 or 5 women or 4 women in the background, offline, nothing to do with it. And Flo says he doesn't quite think so. I'd like to get into that little analogy of you.
All right, let's get into it. So hold on, let me put on your music a little bit louder, because it's funny what gets Harmon like interested. It's always sex, women, like everything.
That's it. What else is there besides women in the world? If it's not a woman, what do you care?
So Flow State was basically saying, no, Z doesn't have anything going on. He
Right.
is what he presents. And Rose is saying, no, she thinks that I actually have a bunch of little, let's say, irons in the fire, and I am maintaining some type of relation. Okay,
But
we can go.
non-internet related, she said.
Yeah, non-internet options.
All right, so
You have
let's
options.
let go ahead, Harmon. You go ahead. You proceed with your
Well,
inquiry
no, I just
into
like
my personal
I
life.
kind of leaning towards Rose. I think you have you got your YouTube personality, and it's pretty much you a lot, but also you have going to the bar personality that you got friends, four girls, like he says, at least 4 girls that you see.
I'll just leave. I'll let the audience just keep wondering with that one. We're gonna keep that. I'll keep that to myself. I've decided that I'm
see
not
why
gonna...
Rose thinks that.
Well, because Rose, I know why Rose.
No.
I know why Rose thinks it, because Rose is more aware of my personal life than anybody else here. I've shared more with her. See, she got me. This is what she does, guys.
I default then.
Yeah, see, Rose knows. Like, Rose has pictures of like my exes and stuff. Like, Rose probed me for info. She used her like Mossad-like powers of deduction and manipulation on me, that she's genetically programmed for through a Jewish lineage, and she fucking got the info out of me. And I know she's holding it in her files.
I guess it was through the power of my mind, because I did not verbally or in tangible physical reality ask for those pictures. So if you're saying that I got them out of you, then it must have been telepathy.
You retain your plausible deniability.
Right,
we know how you move.
Right. But she is right in that, like, anything that's going on in my life in that arena will not be expressed here online. So it's just
because it's nobody's fucking business. Like the Beatles, they weren't allowed to admit that they had girlfriends for a while because it would break the hearts of millions. You gotta go at it with that mentality.
Is that what it is? We're gonna go with that.
Beatle.
Hold on.
Look at her use that deflection. Beatles.
Hold on. Let me talk to Bex real quick. Bex, did you take the personality test?
I did not. I did not take it yet. I could go do it, and while you guys are chatting and see what happens.
Don't you do that, and then we're going to come up and talk about your personality. I'm actually very interested in your personality type.
I wanted to ask a question quickly of Rose, though.
Hold on. I'm going to bet that Bex and I have the same personality type, or very, very close. I'm putting it out there. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Is the link in the back? Can someone put the link somewhere again, and I'll go do it?
It's in the private chat.
One real bullshit question I caught in that, Rose. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. It can wait. I'll go do the test. I'll come back.
Rose, in that test, there were so many questions I got. They were bullshit questions. Like they want you to assume one another. Would you rather read a book or go to a party? Right?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to go to either one.
With your actual, like, your state of mind and how you see the world, which is why you're going to see that fluctuation of an E and an I. Introvert, extrovert has a lot to do with where you are mentally. And that's why it's been scrutinized many times.
So, Harmon, I think that's maybe why you didn't get the right result, because you thought the questions were bullshit. And I think you have to like remember that it's from the 90s. So when it's like a book or this, there weren't a lot of other things that people used to distract. So I feel like the book part like represented something other than being social.
Oh, just otherwise book, I'd want to stay home. And so I answered no on something that should have been yes, because I don't read books.
Yeah,
it's literally depression versus like coming out of depression. That's why it's like two different states of where you are in your mind. This is the good and the bad, or the dark and the light.
You're both talking past each other.
In either state, in which is where you'll answer those questions differently.
So who is this? Is this Mindful Exposure?
Yellow.
Howdy. Have I talked to you before?
I've never been on your channel before. We might have interacted in a chat.
Got
I'm a
you.
little newer. If you want to know my backdrop, I actually I've done the logo work for Autodidactic in his intro vids. done interviews with like Led Key and
Oh,
Amanda
hold
Ball.
on. So you've done like, do you know Campbell? Like you're friends with him and
Yeah.
stuff, or
Well,
just
I
like
don't talk to
internet?
him currently, and that's like we could get into that, but I'm not going to.
Oh, why are you jealous of that new Julia Kamen that he's? Oh, I
No,
knew
Bernie's
it.
my friend. Bernie is my good friend. He and I go way
Wait,
back.
hold on.
Bernie
So you know
supported me through a lot of
Burnseye,
shit.
the alchemical. Hold
Bernie's got
on,
to
Marvel.
do whatever the fuck he's got to do, but it has nothing to do with where I'm going.
Wait,
And I
hold
love
on. You just gave me like 5 things at once. Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
My personality, my INFJ personality is getting all fucked up right now. So hold on. Let's
you know,
focus.
that's what I used to be. I was an INFJ, and then I retested.
No way.
INFJ.
What happened? You got therapy?
Sorry. I went through an 8-year relationship, listened to some talk therapy, got enlightened quite a bit through that process. Also worked in healthcare like you for over a decade in a very interesting field, which had to do with EEG. That's partly what I did. And the connection with respiratory and EMG.
Interesting. I did similar things in my field. I would do what's called an ABR, or an auditory brainstem response, which is electrophysiology. It's the same similar thing. So you know all about that stuff. So that probably gave you good insight into like the underlying metaphysics of this whole world, the electrical world, that our bodies are electric, and you can read that.
And it connected to me for breath, because I was prescribing patients breathing equipment, especially ventilators. I was laid off at the height of the pandemic.
Okay, so would you do like sleep studies? Were you doing like sleep studies and stuff like that?
Yeah, and I was discharging patients out of the ICU with equipment. I was known as the quote-unquote mask guru at the hospital because of my ability to help patients adapt by teaching them how to breathe correctly. So I mean, we could go down a whole pathways. I don't need to take over. But I think you kind of understand that, yeah, I have a very unique perspective because of that background. And then one thing I joke about is like, I've seen your Gs and your EEGs, because literally you need to turn off your phone kind of situation is what we used to do. So, and Heidi, I love you.
All right, so let me talk to you, mindful exposure. First off, you said you had a previous relationship. I mean, online, not sexual, but you know, and you actually did work with or for one Campbell from Autodidactic, who's an Australian content creator who I tend to like. Now, here's the thing. Campbell, if you ever hear this, much love. Campbell's not on like my top tier list of truthers, but he's up there. I hold him in high esteem. Mindful exposures. Like my top tier is like, you know, Lidka, Crow, 777. Like I have like a top tier that's pretty fucking tight. But I've Campbell up there. And so you had a relationship with him. What can you tell us about Campbell? What can you tell us about his current trip to the United States? Does it involve one Julia Kamen, as I suspect it does?
Yeah.
Because I'm intuitive like that. Ooh, I knew
Wait,
it.
doesn't she have videos? Videos on her channel? No, yeah, no, because I okay, if you guys go back to Bernie, seriously, go back to Bernie's channel. You can watch me on his channel. I've been on there many times. He's tagged me many times. I'm just saying, I did a show with Julia that's on my personal channel. I'm not trying to tell you guys, you don't need to sub to me. I'm just telling you it's there. We actually had this in-depth conversation with Julia. Much respect to you, Julia, if you're listening, and to you, Autodidactic, as well. But we had a pretty good heart-to-heart with her because we found out that she was going to be directly working with Cam and specifically Archaics and Led Key.
I bet she's working real hard with Cam. I bet she's putting in a lot of good work with Campbell. I bet it's a lot of intimate, detailed, very close work.
Solving world problems, definitely, really helping the mass population of people. That's definitely what we're seeing here with this sort of movement, Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. I'm trying to pull something up in the background as we're talking about this. What can you tell us?
Here, I'm for something else, but Cam's logo, if you go look at it right now, I did that for him, and he uses an intro video that I made for him as well. And the reason we don't talk because of like timing and like I'm working on a different project. He's going to the United States with Julia. I don't know. I'm just saying that the one agreement we had was that he was to give me credit for the work I've done. And let's just say I think there's one video where he acknowledges what I've done for him. That was
And-
part of it. I don't put any expectations. I wasn't also looking for this to get famedom. I'm just saying I know these. I've been down this route. We can do better, be better. I fucking hate to say that, but sometimes.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me show my
This is
audience
what
who
I'm
we're
telling
talking
you. She has
about.
videos of them together. So if you need to see that, there
Yeah,
you go.
hold on. This is the lovely Julia Kamen, and there's Campbell. Quite
Let's just make
cozy.
sure the cleavage shots are there, ladies. Make sure the cleavage shots are there.
Oh, there's plenty of cleavage shots on this one. There's one. Campbell, I would have flew to the United States for those titties too, brother. I don't know what that plane ticket costs, good fellow, but I would. There wouldn't be anything stopping me. I would be all
there's a good
about
I think
investment.
his left arm is healed already. Look at that. Look at that.
Wait, hold
That
on.
kind of fucking Ledkey. Yeah.
Hold on a second. What was that, Flow State?
Oh, I said it's a good investment. Whatever
Well,
the plane ticket was cost is worth it.
Campbell, much love. You flew across the entire world
I need to
for
be
the
more
lovely
respectful.
Julia. That's not crazy to me. Mindful exposure. So, what's your problem with the Campbell Julia thing?
No, I have no.
I'm
oh,
all for it.
you brought up Julia. I have no problem with Julia. Julia is beautiful. I joke about cleavage, but I think that just has to do with your own self-esteem. I think most women can actually like relate and attest to that. If you actually, and just FYI, guys, if your lady's showing a little,
Keep
bit
your
more,
hands to yourself,
I think something else
Archaics.
going on.
We know. Did you see Archaics getting handsy with Campbell's chick? You saw that.
Get grabby in there.
Oh, much like we would expect from Archaics. That's Campbell's chick there, Mr. Brashears.
Look at this arm over here.
Hold on. Watch. Little handsy there, Brashears. Little handsy.
She's like swatting it away.
She's swatting it away because she not. Mindful exposure. Would you care to comment on the footage we just saw of Archaics, alias Archaics? Actually,
I don't know him
Jason
personally. Honestly, he came into the picture with those people before when I kind of dipped out of the scene. So,
all right, so you dipped out. Let me ask you. I've often said that, like with this Julia chick, I would like take sloppy seconds from Liedke and even Campbell. Like I'm okay with that.
That's the answer to life, Z? Do you think that's the answer to life? Really quick. Like she's hot, she's gorgeous, she's beautiful. But do you think that's the answer to life? I just gotta know.
I don't think it's the answer to life, but I think it's the answer to Campbell's life right now. I'd imagine he's sitting there in fucking Australia, not much going on, like in the outback, watching dingoes and kangaroos jump by his window. All of a sudden, this fucking vixen out of nowhere just basically draws him in from this. What?
I would like an alternative answer to life. If that's not the answer to life, then what is?
Right, mindful exposure. I don't have any other like better answer to life than
watch Cam though. Watch him probably through all this, and mind you, I haven't seen any of it. Okay, so this is all new to me. But watch his behavior. I guarantee he's gonna be very different in how he treats Julia compared to both the other guys. And that's been from my own awareness. I don't know Ledkey as well as I know Cam. Cam and I used to talk on the regular. Okay. Cam, to me, at the core of the person, is a good person, but let's talk about like the journey we're all on. Like, what is the purpose of all of this? What is he actually? And what has he taught you? And I'm sure you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Right. What are you taking away from this continued escapade? Have we not all been taught that we should be really like, or we're not supposedly looking for a life like this? We're looking for something outside of this. But yet,
well, maybe you're projecting. So okay, so
against.
Hold on, my folks. Hold on. When you're on my show, I tend to interrupt. I apologize, but
no. I talk too much, so thank you.
Yeah, I kind of picked that up, but I like it. It's good for radio. It's like Rose talks a lot too, but her audio might be better than. Oh, hold on. Here's the lovely Dr. Kelly. No, it's good for you up here. You should talk a lot. So, but here's the thing. All right. So, I'd follow Liedke. I'd take his sloppy seconds. I'd even take Campbell's sloppy seconds. I'm not sure I'd take Max Egan's sloppy seconds, who we saw at the end there. But I know for sure when it comes to Archaics, that's it. I'm off limits when they're Archaics. So, I'm not going to follow up Archaics. I'm just not going to do it. Sorry, everybody. And it's not because of like him or his history. It's his ideology and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't, in good conscience, I couldn't get down with some of his shrapnel just because of the way he thinks about
You
things.
can't
It's
ask
more
questions.
intellectual.
You are not allowed in a lot of these groups. You are not allowed to ask questions.
So you're concerned there'd be some sort of like, I don't know, chemical alter. Anyway, I won't get into it. I was just concerned that to
No,
have a
no,
shrapnel,
it's just a vibe
you know,
thing. It's just
genetic
that, like,
shrapnel.
no, it's the ick factor. Like, okay, like say I'm experiencing Julia, and I know she was just with Campbell like a week ago or a fucking minute ago, whatever. And I picked up a little weird essence of like maybe male cologne. If it was Campbell's, I'd probably be able to like disregard it and keep going with my business. But if I picked up like the musk of Archaics, that's it. I'm out of the room. Sorry, Julia. I don't care how hot you are. I'm just saying. Mindful, what are your thoughts?
Well, isn't that like what we already dealt with high school and these sort of popularity
Is she?
contests and who's the hottest of the hottest? Like, what's the point at the end of the day? Now, when you actually get down to it, somebody like Rose and Bex is actually going to come off more attractive because of their intelligence.
Well,
So,
you might be projecting a little bit here.
She's quite intelligent, right? Julia's
all
quite intelligent. Is Miss Julia being auctioned off for sale? And is it safe for us to talk about her breasts on this channel, unlike your friend's channel where they don't talk of breasts?
No, which is why I took it back. I shouldn't be talking like that about her. That's not even fair. But I can talk about my experiences with these people. And I'm
All
just
right, so
telling
let's
you,
talk
I just
about
don't
it. Hold
think
on.
that There's like, what's the end agenda? What are we doing?
Hold
for each
on,
other?
hold on.
Are they not
Hold on.
propagating capitalism?
Hold on. Now you're going with the capitalists. All right, here, so let's go. Hold on, mindful exposure. Why does
Okay,
your
and-
audio fucking suck so much if you're like always online? It's like it's
I
not that your
know.
audio sucks. It's like I feel like there's a lag. Like you can't hear when I talk when other people talk, or
Okay.
either that or you just like talking, like you said. I'm not sure.
Z, stop being aggressive.
I'm
perfectionist.
gonna shut up for a bit. Sorry.
No, hold on, because I want to actually. I'm trying to interview you because I want to learn about these people. All right, Flow State, what did you say? Go ahead. Flow State just noticed something about me. Go ahead.
I
What did
just
you
said
say?
stop being an aggressive perfectionist.
Okay. Because I'm trying to talk and I'm like, oh, she can't hear me. And then I'm like, all right, let me.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you,
Morris
Flow
the
State.
cat is coming out in you, Z.
Okay. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. All right, I want to talk about these people, mindful exposure. So there's a couple things I think that's going on with you here. One, I'm picking up a little bit of jealousy on your part towards Julia and Campbell's relationship. Flow State, are you picking up on this? And you, Harmon?
I'm picking up on it, but I want to point out that we haven't even seen Mindful Exposure's boobs yet, so we don't know if it's justified or not.
No, I think women as they older and now their youth is going. Not that she's not pretty now, but the more they got. God, I wish I was there again.
So you do think this is
For
like a
the
jealous?
record, I made a snide comment about her cleavage. I didn't say anything else about her. I actually promoted her and said that.
Okay, calm down.
But
What are you
it's
so
still in your
scared of these
mind.
people for?
Sorry, I wasn't trying to come off defensive. Good point.
Come on, mindful exposure. Just say what's on your mind. To be unapologetic, like Bex is realizing. Unapologetically Bex, unapologetically mindful. All right. So you're saying that. All right. So you had a relationship with Campbell. Were you hoping for more than a metaversal relationship with Campbell? Were you hoping for an intimate connection? Just a question.
No, I had a mild expectation because that was what was talked about in the conversation between the two of us in the agreement of me to do his logo and intro video design work.
Wait, you had a mild expectation
very
for what?
short
Like, what was your mild expectation for in that agreement?
No, in that agreement, we both talked about, expectation. Good point, because I actually talk about this a lot, about really checking our own expectations and assumptions, and how that can be very beneficial for getting through situations.
Flow
like
State,
this.
why am I having such a hard time talking to her? Flow State, please help mediate because
You're not
I like you. No,
Alright.
because I like you, mindful
Hold on.
exposure.
Mindful exposure. Let me do this. Mindful exposure. Make a statement and then stop talking.
This is what I think, real quick, is that she's dancing
Jesus,
around.
Harmon, you're going to make it that much more complicated.
No, it's not
Jesus
real simple. Real simple.
Flow State, I'm not meant for these huge panels. I should just sit up here and talk about my fucking day. All right, so I'm sorry, Harmon. I'm sorry. This is getting nuts.
What she's doing is they had an agreement. He basically flirted with her, got her to do the stuff for her, and it's an implied situation. And which,
all right.
It's just
mindful. Just hold your fucking. She can't help. You can't help yourself, can you? You have
All right,
impulse issues.
let's do.
I
a
think she
cycle.
feels
Let's do a
played.
cycle. Z talks, and then when you're done talking, Z, you say the person who you want to respond, and nobody else responds except for the person whose name you just said.
All right. Thank you, Flow State. Thank you so much. All right. Rose, I hope you come back because we still need to do Bex's personality. All right. Now, everybody, hold on. Calm down. All right. So, mindful exposure. You there? Can I call you something other than mindful exposure? What would you like me to call you?
Yeah, Esra.
That's not any easier. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Let me come back.
Call me
Let me come
Sarah. Jesus Christ, have you ever heard the name Esra?
Ezra. Okay. All right. I'm just going to call you mindful. All right. Hold on. Calm down, everybody. Mindful.
Are you getting distracted by the Hooters on screen?
I think
Perhaps.
I am.
I'm sure that's probably playing no small issue in this. Yes. Okay. Bex, try to get Rose back up somehow. I don't know how.
Okay.
You're supposed to, she seems to know everybody. So, all right, mindful exposure. So, Flow State introduced me to a term called a covert contract, which I like. Flow State. I'm going to hold on to this in my mind. Is it possible, mindful exposure, that you in your head generated a covert contract with Campbell that he was not aware of when you initiated your interaction with him? Go ahead. Floor's yours.
No, I mean, I don't. I mean, I have interviews I've done with him where it probably shows the connection or the amount of communication we were having behind the scenes on the regular basis. But
okay, so you really okay? Hold on.
Like the whole fact of me bringing this up wasn't to go down this path of like I need righteousness from this. Like it was just to convey that I have been down this road.
Oh my God!
I know these people.
Can you tell me about that 8-year relationship that you? Can you tell me about that 8-year relationship?
Why are you so upset with me? Why are you so upset with me? Get it out.
Because you are maddening in so many ways. We'd probably do well together.
Say it. No, say it like clearly. State what is why am I triggering you so bad right now?
That question is guaranteed to be a trigger.
because you appear to be unacquainted with the give and take of communication, conversation, and discourse. But it could just be your audio, but I don't think it's your audio. I think it's something else. I think you're triggered because of the topic, and now you're in an emotional, highly frenetic state, and it's driving me fucking crazy. But go ahead, because I have questions for you that I've been trying to get to for 30 minutes.
I feel really calm.
All right, hold on a second.
I don't mean to laugh. I really don't. I know that has a little bit to do with my, survival.
All right. Tactics. Right. Let me go to Flow State in this one. Flow State, what I'm picking up is she had romantic feelings for Campbell. She and Campbell were she and Campbell were working in a professional manner. When Campbell stumbled upon this fucking pixie vixen, otherwise known as Julia Kamen, he lost his ever-loving fucking Australian mind, and now he's going cuckoo for this bird. And mindful exposure is feeling a certain way about it. First, I'm going to go to Flow State. Flow State, how accurate do you think I am so far with my depiction?
I think, I suppose that I would not have, that was not my initial thought, but given your personality type and mine, I trust that you would pick up on these things better than I will. So I'll default to your take on it.
Bex, what do you think about the take I just gave?
Well, I just think you're super into Julia, and you should just ask her out, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I gotta wait for Campbell. I gotta wait for Max Egan, who you see right there.
I have a question. I have a question because last time I was here, and it was for Rose, but you can answer it because it was last time I was here was right after Rose had broke bad to go over and talk to Tommy, right? And I was like, why can't you guys both be friends with Rose? And now she's back here, so like. Rose can be, but so we're into. You guys are into sharing ladies now. Is basically what. Like, no, I don't mean that. But it's
I don't know,
to share.
Bex. I don't know that I'd really want to follow Tommy, given his Chris Strokes proportions. Apparently, I'm not sure I really want to go after Tommy. But maybe if Tommy lets me go first, I'll share with him.
But back to your other question though, and then I won't interrupt again. You asked about what your assessment of of Esra. And I think that the projection of Esra being interested in Cam, although he's a very handsome man and very intelligent, I could see why women would be attracted to him. But I think it's just a double down on your fucking, you should ask like Julia, just do it. Just do it.
Julia doesn't want anything to do with me. I don't have the social media clout or status that she's looking for. Now let's go to Mindful.
You might be
Mindful.
surprised, actually. You might be surprised. Because she's actually a nice person. No, she knows my friend Aaron and communicates with him in the private all the time. And Bex knows Aaron. He doesn't have a giant following. You might be surprised. Now,
Hold
what I
on.
will tell you.
Go ahead.
See, we're
now.
gonna
How
work
are
a
you?
date for you.
I have tried to be her friend. I really
How
have.
will you-
It's like woman power.
A girl like her can't be friends with other women. She's gonna be like the pick me chick with all the guys, and she's gonna be passive aggressive with women. She doesn't have women friend unless they're uglier than her.
We're gonna play Grace. We're gonna be like yeah, I'm gonna work on this Grace role here without the public. We're gonna see if we can't hook you up with Julia. Come on.
I mean,
Come
seriously,
on.
I
I wouldn't
be
say
happy to
no,
try to
but-
make it happen if you're serious. I will. I
Well,
can facilitate that.
I was
still have
serious
the
when I
connection.
said that I would
Okay.
take Campbell's sloppy seconds. I'm okay with that. So
No,
that's
but
fine.
see, this is what I'm okay. So this is the one thing about Cam. He's way too much. Like honestly, even with her, I could see this. He's way too much of a dad figure. I can't say that about Ledkey and Archaics, but they got their own relationships. You can see it right there in this video. They got their own people.
Right,
So
they
got their
do.
own thing, you know.
All right,
So
hold
and
on
I'm
a
going to
second.
apologize. E. I did not mean to come on here. That was not my purpose. Again, I'm not going to.
Are you again going down this like apologizing road? You make it very difficult to discourse with.
I
you.
do apologize a lot. I know I'm going to be a difficult.
Where do you live generally? Don't dox yourself. Where are you from?
I'm
You.
originally from Wisconsin, and then I moved to Oregon about when I was like 21, and I've been out here for 17 years. And
You're
my
in Oregon,
main thing,
huh?
you see in my photos, like I'm all about the solo journey and being in the woods and grounding and the elements of that. I mean, I could go into a whole other detail because you know about my health history a little bit now where I work. But anyway, and that's how I ended up getting involved was I connected with Bernie, and then Bernie knew Cam, obviously. So we used to, and all the talk I would do about sleep and my background on resonance frequency and what I've studied and stuff, they did respect.
Hold on. Oh my God. Flow state. Am I just being rude to my guest here that I'm trying? So, but I like her. That's the problem.
Flow state knows I'm ADHD, which means I'm going to flip flop on you.
Yeah, no shit. It's like fucking trying to hurt
well-
cats with you.
She knows what she's doing. She's self-aware.
Just be unapologetically
She knows-
yourself, see. You're fine. You got
She knows
this.
that she takes a mile of talking when she's given an inch. And so if she's going to keep doing that, then you do what you do,
Right, exactly.
It doesn't bother me.
Hashtag size
I'm
matters.
comfortable talking over people.
Can I
Okay,
just say, like, please, if you have a certain last thing, I promise I will shut up. I swear to God. If you could have a mild structure, because this is what annoys me about Jack. You guys get so impatient and irritated, but you don't have a structure to your open panels. Just remove us all. If you need to have your say, and we're over.
If I wanted to remove people, I'd remove
Right?
people. Don't associate me with
know.
other content creators. I do it all the time. I'm
that's
trying to
what
get
I'm
the
saying.
skinny on
But
people
don't get
because
defensive.
you're an insider. You're an
Hold your
insider, right?
ground. Hold it
Oh my
down, dude. You got this.
Hold on. You're an
Appreciate you.
insider, so I'm trying to squeeze you for information on people, and you're making it extremely difficult.
And I'm here for that. I've been used for that a lot in my life. I could tell you
All right.
another story.
So here's the deal. Now, I'm going to get past the Julia thing and you being jealous because I do think you had feelings for Campbell that were unrequited and that you have not resolved. So I'm going to stick with that interpretation. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Cam would probably be weirded out just as much as me. That's definitely more of like a father-daughter relationship than anything. You realize
I don't know if I believe that laugh.
Actually, Julia is younger than me. I don't think we're that far away from each other, but like you're talking like a 40 or 30, I think, close to. Okay, done. Done.
You and Julie would scratch each other's eyes out if you were together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely like. Go ahead, Bex.
Oh, thanks, Flo. I meant to just correct. I think I said Grace. Did I say Kendra G? We got to play Kendra G here. I might have said Grace instead of Kendra, getting my G's mixed up. But I really think, like, I really think that this might be a match made in heaven. At least a union of the minds to have a conversation. I think this conversation is actually very beneficial for the entire community, the whole flat earther community.
Well,
I'm not
thank you,
being
Bex.
cheeky here,
But I'm not so sure, and I've watched a little bit of Julia's material and Campbell. I'm not so sure we can put them both in the flat earther community. Campbell maybe a touch more than Julia. Julia actually said that she thinks the world is a Vesica Pisces symbol, which I just said, oh, that's something that a chick like her would say. But so I'm not really
Like a
sure we can
giant-
classify them.
like a giant craterous vagina. Is that
Correct.
what
She feels as though the world is just a big vagina represented in
you're like the one that
creation.
Bobby was stuck in that time?
So
This is coming. This is coming full circle. See,
Don't
this
make me
is coming
play
full
his
circle.
music. Don't make me play his music. All right, hold on.
Can I give
Let-
you her background really quick? That she is a remote viewer, and like I guess how she ended up in this group was that she knew Leak Project and had done some.
Oh
conferences
yeah,
with
I
them.
know who that
the
is.
fucking
I'm
leak pro.
surprised
I unsubbed from him like 5 years ago. By
Me
the way,
too.
I'm just saying, Rex, because he went off on flat earthers like it was bullshit. I unsubbed. That's it. Which sucks, mindful, because I used
Door
to
slam.
like. Yeah, it was a door slam. It was my INFJ door slam. That's exactly right, Flo State. You got it. It was my INFJ door
I
slam.
do the same thing. I do close the door. I'm done. See, that's where I was at. Like, honestly, there's two people out of this area. Like Cam, if he and I communicated again, maybe. But I don't know. My problem is, and what my passion is like I want to see something different come out of all of this. Not us.
All right, so that's what I want to get down to. That's what I want to get down to. You look at them on this vacation. You don't like seeing them like this because you see this as capitalist,
I was actually
as
saying that
indulgent.
before.
What?
No, I was saying this before this, and can I tell you why? Do you know Cam and Kelly?
No.
So Kelly's like his partly how, in my opinion, how Cam kind of got more famous, but she's Australian Tartaria or Tartarian Australia.
Oh yeah, they do shows together. I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about now. Yeah.
One of the reasons I actually like connected to them was because her whole ploy was that she was pushing this, which to me connected to Anastasia and the Ringing Cedar books. Highly recommend that.
Again, you're just going off. Flo State, I'm trying to be nice to her, dude, but I'm trying. You know this is
So
a
I can't
show.
reference
It's like
anything. I can't. Wait.
150
I
people
can't
watching
reference
this right now.
anything. I can't tell you about things that I'm like referencing to what.
No,
I'm
because
doing.
I know you'll just sputter off into some fucking topic for 10 minutes. It's going to have nothing to do with what I want to hear here.
That. This is your show. Good.
All right. First, we're going to try something because when I'm interrupting you, you just keep talking. So do you not hear me interrupting you, or do you just don't care that I'm interrupting you? Be honest.
I don't think I must not be aware.
All right. So let me try something. Okay. So we're going to try something. This is just a test. All right. Audience, bear with me because I'm fucking losing my mind right now. Hold on. All right. You're gonna start talking, right? And I'm gonna interrupt you. I want you to stop as soon as you hear me interrupting you. Okay? Go ahead, start talking. Just say anything.
This is a good test.
Go ahead, just go off. So now you don't talk. Now you clam up when I ask you. All right.
No.
Ahead.
I can keep going. What do you want?
Right.
I mean,
just
right
just
now,
do
just
take
this
had a little
crazy
lamb or
dream,
something.
so I can get into this like whole polar vortex.
All right, so I'm interrupting you now. Stop. I'm interrupting you. Stop. So you do hear it. You fucking do hear it. You're just fucking rude. Okay, all right. No, I don't want to call you rude, but you're just unaware of social dynamics. That's what I'm saying. It's not rude.
Flo, give me a little backdrop. Like, I don't have the best self-control, but I have on your channel before. Have I not?
Look.
Come on.
This is you evidencing self-control? God have mercy on all of us.
No, I said no.
Exposures. You exhibit poor self-control. I don't have a problem with it because I'm a different type of person than Z is, and I will just talk over you. Z doesn't prefer to talk over people. So you have to exhibit more self-control. And you
I
can do
always
it. And
will
I know we
respect
both
that.
know that you
can call
can.
me out on it anytime, any day.
I have like 20 times. It hasn't altered your behavior. Not
He
even one
put you in a
bit.
fucking audiologist seat and made you do a hearing test.
All right, hold on.
You
Hold
want to
on.
know what's funny? I've been tested for being able to hear higher frequencies.
Okay. All right. Now let's back up a little bit. You see Lidka, Archaics, and Campbell here on vacation in this beautiful background. And you're viewing this in a negative fashion. And I'd like you to expound on that a little bit more, please.
Again, I would really like you to check a little bit of your assumptions. You've said two things about me that I haven't actually articulated or said at all. One was about Julia and my feelings about being jealous towards her. The second was being irritated with this video specifically, which actually you pulled up in the midst of our conversation. I actually,
Oh my God, you're
what you've done to Z.
let me finish. And I also acknowledged it. I said one thing about cleavage, which is, and I'm going to totally acknowledge this. You can ask Aaron, who talks to this woman on a regular basis. That comes from some weird old high school bullshit of women trying to put themselves in actually a transvestite style of way, with excessive.
What the fuck is she talking about now, Flow State?
It didn't make any sense. There's no connection. I'm just completely. Are you
What
listening
are
to me?
I'm trying.
Into yourself a little too much.
You're making me crazy. I'm just going to admit it to my whole audience.
Bud.
You're
so
making
sorry.
me insane right now.
I'm going to shut up now for a consistent period of time because it's not.
No, because I'm trying to look. It's this. I ask
the
questions and then you answer the fucking question. That's basically how this should work.
So why? How am I not getting to the point? Because I'm just elaborating.
I don't know. I don't know how. It's too. I can't follow you. I can't follow your line.
You can. You're not connecting A and Z. You're taking everything I'm saying and it's just not direct enough for you. And I think that has to do with your own divergency. Not
yeah,
me.
right. It's that. Or I try to put on like an engaging show for my audience, so they just don't tune out for the. Oh my God, this is crazy. All right, let's.
Ezra, show us your tits.
All right, hold on. Bex, how do you know her? How are you guys acquainted? What's with that?
Where did we meet? We met through Shem Jacobs on Tartarian Truth TV.
Yeah.
All right. I should have never even asked. I regret asking that already. All right, hold on. Okay. Let me try to salvage this in somewhat. All right, hold on. All right, so let me back up. So you obviously were showing. You said they were basically experiencing, like you said, it was too capitalist or capitalistic, this vacation for your view of these men, and then you backtracked on it. So what do you think about this vacation that these men are on? Should they not be able to enjoy some fun in the sun? Like they're on a beach. That doesn't cost much. I mean, I know they're in front of a pricey hotel, but why are you interrupting me?
Sorry.
Z, drop us all down and then add us back at your discretion.
It's not going to help Flow State because the only one I'm having problems with is her.
Then drop her.
Is she doing this on purpose to fuck with me, Flow State?
No, she's not fucking with you. She's just being self-indulgent and not controlling herself.
Right. She has very little self-control.
It's in spite of you.
It's in spite of me. Right. It's very solipsistic on your part. You did it again.
Defending myself.
What the fuck is this show? Where's Rose? I need Rose back. Hold on. All right, hold on. Calm down. Because here's the thing, Flow State. There's like 5 things I want to ask her, and I can't fucking get to them.
Okay.
There's 5 legitimate things I want to ask her.
Okay. Then
all right.
Maybe you should ask the question and bring her back up and let her respond until you're satisfied and drop her back down and ask a question.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I would rather she show more impulse control. Do you consistently have this issue with your impulse control, Mindful? Do you?
Do you lay out a proper structured setup for everybody to understand when they walk onto your panel, so they understand how much time they have to talk, when they're allowed to overstep you, when they're allowed to overtalk? Like
no, these are just general rules.
So set it up ahead of time and I'll be there for
These are just the general rules of discourse. That's it. They're general rules. You should assume you're coming on my show, which means that I'm basically the host. So you would just know that, and then like everybody else in the
Then that
panel,
gets into pedestal
natural
pushing.
communication just commences.
They're not
Just due
about
to
me.
like the understanding of linguistics. Not whatever the fuck you're doing right now.
Z,
Better
it's
than
getting
me.
worse.
You're not better than me. Nobody's better than anybody. and I'm
Oh
gonna
my God. See,
find
this
out.
is what it is, Flo State. You see the projection, her insecurity. So now it's about me being better than her, not about me hosting a show and trying to make it informative for my listeners.
Like an
They're not here for
insecurity.
you, Mindful. They're here for me. You get that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now you had to show your insecurities that you're projecting onto the fucking world and you're evidencing here. All right. Let's start over.
You have put insecurities into my mouth.
Okay, right. Okay, new game. Let's clear
Not
the
a new
scoreboard.
game.
Let's
I've
start
said this
over. Let's start over.
Stop putting your insecurities about Julia in my fucking mouth, dude, and Cam.
Is this
Fucking
chick for
have
real?
said my righteous. I've talked about how
Z,
Cam is a
it's
good
not
fucking
getting
person.
better.
Stop
No,
making
it's
me
not
look
getting
like a
better.
bad
It's just
person.
getting worse. I'm making you look like a bad person because Julia's boobs.
Because I said fucking cleavage. Because I was joking about like every female knows that's not gonna get you anywhere, dude. I need to take it down.
What the fuck is wrong with this
Cleavage
broad?
gets you a long ways
There's
in the
nothing
world.
wrong, dude. What's wrong with you? Like you don't even realize.
I would like
you
to
did
recognize
it.
Harmon's done very good at playing the
Triggered
quiet
by
game
me.
since we
You are
instituted
so
it.
Triggered. I've done nothing to you. I've
All
done
right,
nothing
all right.
but support it.
Here's mindful exposure. When this is
I'm
is
here
done,
for
I want you to
learning.
go listen back to this for a practice for yourself.
I have actually, and I've done interviews with professional people, like I've talked about beyond.
What
you.
does that have to
You
do with
can listen to
anything?
those interviews to validate.
What does
who I
that have
am.
to do with anything? You've done
It has
issues
everything
with
to do with
professional
who you
people. What the fuck does
assume,
that have to do with the price
What your
team channel?
assumptions and your expectations are.
Oh
Set them
my
at the
God,
door.
you are a peach. I can't
Okay.
imagine what your
Now
personal
she's doing
life is
it at
like.
like.
you. Now she's doing it at you.
You know, if I
Oh
stood in front
my
of you, I'd probably
God.
intimidate the fuck out of you. And that's like,
Unbelievable. You are unbelievable. Fascinating. I just met you.
I'm just glad we have Cleavage Tube playing the whole time.
the whole time, over and over again.
And it's triggering the fuck out of you, Mindful, because you're in
No,
love with
you can't.
you're in
You
love with
cannot be
Campbell.
doing this naked
You're in love with
out of your
Campbell, and
mouth,
he's
dude.
currently
It's
on a
fucking
romantic
part of
tryst
this.
in the United
You
States.
know, you do
He's
this
right
and you
now
can't
bedded
stop.
up with this broad, and it's fucking driving you crazy. I hit the nail on the head. I triggered you because you're picturing the love of your life, Campbell,
And you didn't
getting it
trigger
on with this
yourself.
little fucking
And you didn't
floozy,
trigger
and it's
yourself.
driving you nuts.
Do you hear
And I
you?
nailed it since the moment you got up
Do
here,
you
and you
know
can't take
what
it.
frequency you'll
That's
do
right.
Do it, fucker.
All right. All right. Now, are you prepared to stop with your jealousy towards Campbell and Julia, please? Are you prepared to move on?
For the court. I just want to make it clear again. If you look back in this, please rewatch this on my behalf. That I have not said anything in ill will against Julia, or actually in Cam's
Again,
other than the fact that I would like to see more out of people like you, Z, who think that you rule above.
Can I say something real quick?
Fucking kingdom.
I do
don't know what the
rule.
fuck
You
this
just don't
true
fucking
kingdom
realize it.
is, but just keep doing it. Just
I do
keep
rule.
focused. You keep flying high.
God,
We're behind you,
Harmon, what's
brother.
up with this
We're
chick, Harmon?
behind you.
Harmon, can you please give me a read on this chick and what's going on here, please, Harmon? I want to defer to you. Please, Harmon, floor's yours.
Oh my God, she just lost when she. I had to get back with you. I lost it. I had a good point, but it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Was it the boobs? Put the boobs back on. I
Yes,
think the point
it's
will come
about the
back.
boobs. That's what it
Put
was.
the boobs back on.
She just doesn't want to admit that she is jealous, and cleavage
Thank
does
you.
get a lot of attention. We're men, you know,
Right.
and it gets attention from women, but in the opposite way because look at her, she's flashing her boobs.
Look at her.
Because
I
she
love
can.
seeing her squat archaics.
You know, I guarantee you at the beach, she's gonna get more attention than 90%. And then on a club, well, if a girl's got a real short mini dress on, she gets more attention than boobs a lot of times. Depends on what you are. But on a beach, boobs get the attention.
Okay, so I'm going to go to everybody in the panel. I'm going to start with myself. You see how it's already better? She's gone, and like everybody could just communicate fine. It's weird. Okay, so my whole take on this thing was she came on the panel She brought up Campbell, that she knows Campbell. I immediately brought this video up, and it triggered her from the right off the bat. And as I kept playing it and as she kept watching it, she couldn't untrigger herself because she is insanely jealous of Julia because Mindful Exposures is in love with Campbell and he's currently fucking involved with this Julia. Flow State, you first.
I didn't catch it as quickly as you did, but the more time went on, the more I think that you nailed it.
Thank you. And that's my feeling part of my personality.
Right.
Exactly. Harmon, we heard what you said.
No,
Max,
I remember now. I remember
all
now.
right, go ahead, please. Thank you, sir.
She wanted the relationship. She was doing everything, helping him with his channel and everything like that. And now she thinks he's so shallow that he'll go after a girl showing cleavage over her. And that's the whole thing, is that he thinks now she's shallow.
Right. She thinks he's shallow and she's disappointed.
Right.
Because she feels like that she was offering something that he should appreciate over those beautiful, bodacious fucking tatas that we've been looking at for the last 40 minutes. Right.
And now he's like every other man, a shallow piece of shit.
Right, exactly. But that's the thing that these ladies don't want to understand, Harmon, is a man of a certain stature and a certain age and a certain presence. He doesn't give a fuck about Mindful Exposure and her thoughts on consciousness and her contributions to whatever fucking thought form that she might present. He's interested in the Julias of the world. And that's just an unfortunate reality, ladies, that many of you have yet to come to grips with. All right, Bex, I'm going to go to you, but my suspicion is you're going to just basically say how I should hook up with Julia, and I'm not going to disagree with you on that one, Bex, but give everything its due time.
I did want to say that boobs like Julia's are available for a price. I'm not saying Julia's, that hers
How
could be
dare
like
you.
totally made by her parents, made by her. So I'm not trying to say that she bought hers, but any woman who is feeling insecure about their chest can fix that.
Her boobs are natural.
Well, yeah, and I wasn't implying that. There are great tits out there that are just, that's why they made the fake ones, to make look like the real ones. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to sell.
Okay, that was a subtle dig.
Yeah.
That was a subtle dig at Julia.
No. You guys see that because you'd already projected on me I might be jealous, and at 51 years old, I just think she's a beautiful woman.
No,
right?
I don't think you're jealous. I don't think you're jealous of her. I don't think so.
But I do understand that when tits are that perfect, people tend to think they're fake. But I was not implying that. I was saying you can have breasts as nice as those, but they'll be fake. But you can have them. No dig intended.
Okay,
like a dig.
Fair enough. All right, so Bex, we were going to do your personality type, but I guess Rose had to do something. So much love.
What
Rose.
type are you?
My type? INFJ. And there was a part towards the end of my personal segment where Rose summed up what it is, and it fucking was exactly who I am. So I am now a believer in this because everything she said about me was exactly right about my personal life, my interactions, the difficulty I have maintaining interactions, the frustration that I feel constantly that I evidenced here when I can't fucking control stuff. So I'm a believer in this young personality type. I'm on board, Flow State. You're right with this thing. It works.
Well, and I think that you're close. We're very close. Mine said ENFJ, and I wouldn't be surprised about that, like with that subtle difference. I did kind of rush through it, and there were a few questions that I probably could have used help just understanding, like justice over mercy. And, there were a few questions that I kind of, there was probably about 10 questions where I felt like I could have used help just understanding them. But
the empathy ones.
I do think I'm more emotional. I probably am more emotionally reactive than you. So, but the NFJ are the same. So.
Interesting. Which was my suspicion. I thought we would be exact, but that makes sense to me that you're more extroverted than me. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, I'm going to move on to the news. Much love. Final thoughts, Harmon. Final thoughts, Mr. Harmon.
No, I'm just saying goodbye. Hey, Flo, see you later tonight if you're on.
All right, Bex, don't jump out yet. Flow State, final
and Bex,
thoughts.
I love your opinions. You are awesome, Bex. Bye.
Thanks, Harmon. Nice to meet you.
Flow State, much love. Flow State, it looks like you were simulcasting at the same time. So much love to the Flow State audience. P.S.
And if you're on mine, I put the link at the top. Come give both of us a like. Z, this has been a fantastic, chaotic experience. I'm sure that you're pulling your hair out. Mine's growing in thicker because of it. So thanks for having me up again.
All right, man. Much love. All right, Bex. Let me take the boobs off the screen when I talk to you. In all shtick, I'll take the shtick away. Much love, Julia. She's lovely. And much love, Mindful Exposures. Come talk to me again. I'm sure we'll get our communication styles down at some point. She said, "All you." Should we try to get her up again one more? Come up one more time. Now it's just me and Bex. Should we try to get her up one more time, Bex, to try to?
Yeah, I think it would be nice. I think it would be nice.
All right, come on back up, Mindful Exposure, because I do like you, and maybe we could work through some of this community.
And I would like to say that even in trying to sell breasts, there likely is a bit of an envy factor in there, whether I'm admitting on subconscious level or not. So,
right.
Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah. Bex, you seem to be content with like your position in life, as far as like relationships, and it doesn't seem like you're very interested in establishing, like, let's call it a romantic relationship. Would that be correct?
Well, that's because I've had, I wouldn't call it romantic, but I have a man in my life.
Whoa.
Yeah. So.
Is this a Z Show exclusive right here?
Well, you were right about moving my coworker in. He never actually moved in. So that was not the relationship.
Be a bad idea from the beginning.
Yeah, and that was not the relationship. But I've had a suitor in my life for about 7 years. He's quite a bit younger than me. And so I've sort of kept him at arm's length because he's quite a bit younger than me. But now that he's, still younger than me, but getting older, he has continued to pursue me, and I am, I'm no longer keeping him at arm's length.
I like this. The way you just said that, the vibe felt really good when you said that. Did you feel that good vibe too, Mindful Exposure, or is it just me?
I did.
Yeah. Like the way she said it in my head, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's kind of sounds right. That's good for you, Bex. That's actually probably, that probably is a good match, given like it just a younger man with maybe somebody like where you are who's not like so interested in. I don't know. I don't want to assume things about you.
Yeah.
Much love on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So Mindful's back up. Let's try again with Mindful. Maybe Bex could help me. Okay.
And my passion was too high, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, so I don't want to like project. You heard what I had to say. Did I think that you likely have more feelings with Cam than maybe even you are aware of? And when you came up, you didn't expect me to go where I went with this, and I went in a place that was a bit uncomfortable for you, and it might have took you, knocked you off guard unexpectedly. Did that happen, or is it something else?
Can I tell you why it's weird too? Because it actually, and I sort of tapped on this a little bit, that I had a moment when there were some changes happening in our community, and my friend, who's now since popped in your chat, knows this backstory a little bit, but knows that I had a moment with him where my emotions took control, and it had nothing to do with her. And every interaction I've had with her is gold. And again, I will back up saying that Cam is not a bad person, right? Like all my interactions are not bad. I could get into it like maybe I personally see something, right? I don't need to regurgitate bullshit. But just getting down to the point, which is what Z is trying to do for me in all of this, right? Is that I just want to make it clear I have no qualms against her. And some of this does come from this back jealousy of the relationship I had built with Cam and the things that I was promised that I had to slowly over time let go because it wasn't given, right?
So let's talk about that. All right, hold on. So there's two things you said that I want to expound on. One, things that you said were promised. And two, the incident that you had with Cam where you expressed maybe some hot emotions towards him, because judging by my brief interaction with you, it doesn't surprise me that you came at him hot and he responded in a particular way. So can you address those two things? One, that interaction, and then two, things that you were promised and you feel like maybe he didn't live up to, or in some way you feel shorted on.
Which is why I'm actually a little embarrassed having this conversation here, because I actually never conveyed that to him. So actually my reaction,
well, maybe he'll end up hearing this in some weird way.
Possibly,
Maybe
but at the end of the day, I mean, there has to be a point where he does realize it. I mean, if you guys actually watch some of his shit, he's actually, because of the way I sent him the videos, you will see my tag, my logo at the end, because of the way he plays it sometimes. It's like an accident or something. God bless him. But what I'm getting at is that I should have had that a little, like, even when things happened, and if you guys know the lore of how shit went down in this fucking metaverse, in his relationship, there was a falling out, and that for me, it
with
started
who?
happening.
With who? Hold on, because you speak in code and riddles sometimes that unless somebody's aware of the context, it becomes very difficult to follow what you're saying. Maybe you don't know that
And
about
real
yourself.
quickly, I'm going to be kind of silly about this, but do you know about the blowjob that broke the internet? That broke our panelverse?
The blowjob that broke the panelverse. No, that's a new one to me. Do tell.
I feel like Bex would be better at telling the story.
Does it involve Bex and Steven? No. I'm just
Oh, my word. I'm fanning myself here. No, it involved a panel with Michelle Gibson and Bernie and some other people. And I guess Bernie was offended that Bernie had taken up for Michelle Gibson that Paul Cook had received an alleged blowjob on a panel. No one saw it. It just was a little bit of movement. And on London McLovins, before we met Tommy, on London McLovins, there was a metaversal union about the most epic pixelated potential blowjob that ever did occur.
It broke
okay,
the internet.
So all right,
but
so
there's
hold on.
connection between these people somehow.
All right, so we're way off on a tangent now. I got to rein it back in. Thank you for that, though.
Sorry.
So let's go back to where we were with you and Campbell. So it appears as though you did some digital work for him in which you see your logo, and you feel though he's not recognizing you for the work that you did. Is that it?
The agreement was every description that he used my work, or he uses my intro video, which is almost every video. I haven't checked lately, to be honest. Actually, I haven't checked.
Let me ask you though, do you feel like that's a fair contract that he referenced you underneath every? So if you indeed did his entrance video, hold on.
For free complete logo design and like other video work, which I had done other work for him. This is not just like the only fucking thing. I'm just saying, like, that's all I asked.
Well,
and there was
for him to link,
there was talk of time constraints, which I would have been open to.
Well, that's the problem, because you feel as though he's supposed to do that in perpetuity, and I feel like that might not necessarily be reasonable. You know,
that's what was discussed. That was what was agreed. He said, "I agree to that." And if you look at my page, you'll see that. And actually, I did delete some videos because I could get into that detail of who I used to work with. But I have I reference him as my work in my association in every single description of every video I made up until maybe the last 3 videos I've done. You can look. It's there. And you can look on my page right now, because I decided to do just like, because most people are like, what? You did the work for autodidactic? Like, people don't know what's valid, what's real, like what's
right, but here's what I want to say though.
Would you at least consider, if somebody did that amount of work for you, would you at least consider them if they were selling your logo design on their t-shirts? People are buying them. Would you not think, maybe I should throw $50 at this person, even though they didn't ask for it? What's in good faith? And I'm not putting that expectation out there. I'm moving on. And I appreciate.
All right, so here's a couple things.
I really do. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, sharing your story. Couple things. One, I'd imagine that Campbell is probably not letting the world on fire financially, unless I'm unaware of something. He's probably in not a great financial situation, as some may conjecture. Do you have any thoughts or information on that?
He was when I first worked with him, for sure. He
All right,
definitely was. Like I could
how
get into
long?
all
How long
and then
ago
he
was
made
that?
a change. How do you think he afforded to be able to come to the United States?
Well, the first time he came here, he was invited to speak. Like that's the thing. When we saw them on a beach,
That's true.
they were all doing like work. Like they were here on like a seminar. So that's a little different.
And you know how much like there's people putting together these seminars, how much they're charging per ticket?
Well, I would assume they would charge whatever they can get, and the market would dictate
And
that.
that's where I'll get like, and I don't need to like bring this to your channel where I could get critical on how I feel about where I would like to see the world go. I'm personally working on that, and that's why I've disconnected. I appreciate the opportunity though to come on your channel and end up talking about something that maybe will help steer people to realize like maybe we can do better. Even you, like, and I'm not, oh, that sounded rude because I don't know your full story. I don't know what you've all done. Okay. So that
Well, everybody could do better, right? Everybody could do better, but
exactly,
you know,
exactly.
we have to have realistic standards because Martin and Campbell, you know, it's should they not be able to come on here and present themselves and then be remunerated in a financial? They have to have a livelihood, correct?
Sorry if you can hear that's a dog playing in the background.
Nice.
Yes, which is what they've defended as well, which I'll get into. But I just and everybody else will criticize me on this factor, so that's why like coming on your channel the way I did and like getting amped without structure is not proper. But
Are you hot?
Say that again.
Are you attractive?
You can see me live on my channels. I don't hide my face. I'm just not live right now. I don't have a great setup where my camera's angled where I'm at, because especially with playing with the dog. But you can.
I simply asked you a yes or no question, and you just went off.
I'm not going to tell you if I'm attractive, or I'm not going to let you make that decision on your own, because I think that's an energetic thing too.
Well, you're right.
I do get a little bit of energy from you, especially being able to see your face. And I apologize that I'm not. I'm house sitting at a location right now, so I'm not in my normal like setup. That's why I said like I'm really not. Hey, don't even do that. I'm not in front of the camera.
So I'm trying to find you in my chat so I can go to your channel.
Just no, like go to my page, go to my lives. Like if Aaron.
Well, I'm trying to type something in my chat so I could just pull your channel up. Just type something.
I'm live right in my last. Well, maybe not in the last live, but the second.
Just type something right now. In my chat right here, and then I'll be able to link
my channel. Hold on.
No, just say hi in my chat. If you show up in my chat, I'll be able to go right to your channel.
I got you. Sorry, I'm not right there. Sorry, 1 second. I'm literally like throwing this fucking toy for a dog. I'm not right in front of the computer.
I put the link in the back chat.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting mine. It's literally at Mindful Exposures is my handle.
All right. I've seen you around and stuff. Thanks, Bex.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm back here looking. Let me see what's going on with you.
She's got that librarian thing going.
Well, I like the librarian thing. That's
I'm also
not
6'1". So
wow. What are you, like some kind of Pleiadian, like Nephilim fucking like character? Like,
well, this is what kind of creeps me out. This is when you're talking about the personality thing. I'm an ENFJ, but I'm a Master Builder 33. I was born at 3:03 a.m. I'm probably a Nephilim, or I'm red-haired. Like as I've gotten older, my brown hair has turned to red. I have hazel or green eyes.
Gingy.
Yeah, you're definitely fallen blood. You're definitely fallen spirit.
Rocky.
Hey, Rocky.
Okay.
Here he is, Mr. Personality himself, fucking Rocky Shepherd, everybody.
How do you like my backdrop? Can you read it?
It's sideways. What does it say? It says something. White Pride Month. Happy or something. White heteros. Pride Month. Everyone. Happy white heterosexual Pride Month. Everyone.
Yeah.
All right, Rock.
Tits
Good
and
job,
ass,
Rock.
tits and ass and blowjobs is what we're talking about today here on Zedek Warrior Show, but not cunnilingus. Okay, everyone, we're leaving that for another time.
All right, Rock. Thanks for that, Rock. Great contribution to the
Hey, see you later.
fucking guy. All right, so you're not unattractive, mindful exposure. You're easy on the eyes. 6'1". That's interesting. Okay,
you.
so I want to ask you a few more pointed questions while you're here, and we seem to be on a pretty calm, even playing field.
I can respect when I'm over the top.
All right, so you seem like you're close with that Burnseye guy, the chemical, the alchemical, whatever he calls himself.
Crypto alchemist. Yeah.
Crypto. What happened between him and Campbell? Did they have a falling out?
Yeah. This is about the blowjob that went around the world.
So for some reason, Burnseye, the crypto alchemist, had a falling out with Campbell because somebody else got a blowjob on a completely unrelated panel. You're gonna have to make this make sense.
Literally, it was live. It was in front of Michelle, and there was like skin exposure related to it because of the way the cam on and cam off went.
Well,
and so then there was this whole behind the scenes conversation, and this is somewhat public because Bernie literally like was spewing this out. So this is, I'm not telling you anything that if you guys weren't.
So was Paul spewing something out, eh?
Can we just get to it? Can we? So what happened?
So Bernie, because I know it wasn't a power play. Like the relationship between Bernie and Paul at that point was solid. But okay, so actually, sorry, let's I do need to dial it back a second because there was like a period of quietness after this happened because only the people that were there knew what happened.
Hold on, why is this so hard to? Chat, please answer me, chat. Is it me or am I just? I'm trying to ask you what the fuck happened between Burnseye and
Paul,
Campbell. That's what I care about.
Paul had a blowjob during a live stream.
Who's Paul? Am I supposed to know who Paul is?
Paul Cook.
I don't know who that is. I'm not. What
Sorry,
you keep saying? Your community. What's your community like? What's your community like? Mudflood, Antiquitech.
Part of this.
Hold on, we're all getting excited again. We're getting to that part where our communication's falling apart again. That's happening. Hold on. Let's hold on. Hold on. You kept saying your community. Is it like Antiquitech, Mudflood, like Old World Tech community? Is it what's your community first off?
Yes, like literally, Paul Cook is claiming that he invented geopolymer.
Okay, so I know about geopolymer, but to say that he invented it is probably a bridge too far. All right. So some guy named Paul, who's prominent in your Mudflood Antiquitech community, ended up doing a lewd act on some random person's panel. Okay, we've got that. Everybody's there. The audience is there. I'm there. Okay. How did that go to a fallout between Burnseye and Campbell?
Because Bernie put up a fuss about it in their group. They had a private group where Paul was connected. So Paul Cook, Cam, Ledkey. I don't think Archaics was in the picture at this point. Stuff Beagle was in the picture. If you want to look up the lore on that shit. Keeping on track, like there was just like there was a group, and Bernie and Shem Jacobs from Tartarian Truth both told Paul, because Paul at the same time of getting the blowjob publicly told them what he had done, and then that's why Paul's pissed off because he told them privately that this had happened, and they went and proceeded to talk about it publicly. However, at the same time, Paul had posted an OnlyFans link on his main description channel, and he also did a video telling people to go to his OnlyFans.
We're still not to the part where Campbell.
That's what you're.
Campbell
I'm
and
so
fucking
close.
Burnside.
Hold on, I know the story is super annoying and long. I'm trying to be better about preciseness. What I'm getting at is so then that all happens, and Cam is a part of this group. Okay, so then it becomes Bernie against Paul. Because Bernie is trying to say this guy's being inappropriate. Shem from Tartarian Truth comes in with a video that calls Paul out on this creepy fucking shit about OnlyFans. And they're both telling him that he's not playing the code or whatever with YouTube. So then there's this whole fucking debate happening between the two sides of saying like, are you doing it right? Are you doing it right? Are we friends? All
right, this is I get what you're saying. So it's nonsense. They had a falling out over nonsense.
Pretty
That's
much.
what that story told me.
Pretty
Because
much
that's everything you just said.
broke the world.
I believe what you just said, but my understanding is that like it's all nonsense. So likely Crypto Alchemist and Cam had a falling out about something else that's completely unrelated, and this is what the story ended up being. Okay, all right. I don't even know what to think after that. I was trying to get some juice on Campbell, everybody. That's what I wanted with this. You get it?
And all I can tell you is he's a good guy, and it's gonna.
He seems like a good guy, but here's the thing I want to say to you, Mindful Exposure, and take it how you want. Whatever financial, like, I don't know, like compensation that he's likely making from his endeavor here is probably a lot less than many people would conjecture. I don't know. I'm not in his fucking pockets. All right. I'm not in his pockets. And he does seem like a nice guy. Let me ask you about this one. What do you think about Martin Liedke and his collaboration with Jason Brashear's Archaics?
Grasping at straws. Not to say he's not a bad. He's my experience in my conversations with him is also a good person. Maybe their conjecture or what their desires are, if whatever the fuck that is, but maybe not on the right path. I don't.
Was there a recent falling out with Martin Liedke, particularly his girlfriend and Archaics? I'm gonna tell you why. I watched a random Archaics video the other day.
Yeah.
What?
I heard that too. Yeah. I'm not
okay. Here's why. I watched an Archaics video, and he was bitching. I'm not a huge Archaics fan, everybody. I'm just telling you right now. Nothing about his background. Buddy Stoic wants to ask me your body count, Mindful Exposure. You don't have to answer that. That's rude, buddy. That is rude.
How many people I've killed? Or my weight. I'll tell you my weight.
Well, I imagine that you probably are much like a Black Widow type in your sexual encounters. So your body count and then people you killed may indeed be the same number. I don't know. I could just imagine, but that's besides the point.
And think about the ENFJ though in that. Doesn't quite coincide. And think about my degree in healthcare. I'm an empath. I'm a gentle giant. Honestly. Okay. And I'm also recovering codependent and a recovering enabler. I was in an 8-year relationship. That's exactly. Okay. That's all I'm just saying. Thank you. Don't put your hands on your head. See, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so where was I? So all right, so in Bex. So in this fucking. What an absurd experience this is. Okay, so hold on. Not just you, Mindful Exposure, like this whole thing. All right, so I watched a recent video of an Archaics, and I don't watch his shit, but I'll tap in sometimes because I want to see where he's coming from. Because his new thing is now that Atlantis was much sooner than a lot of people are dating it, et cetera, et cetera. But that's besides the point. So I tuned in. He was at like a collision center for his car, like an auto center. And he was bitching about the service there, which I found to be a bit, let's say, distasteful, that he's using his internet celebrity and his car wasn't fixed to his liking. So now he's blowing up the collision center online. That was weird to me. Like right there, that's fucking bad vibes. Your thoughts on that, Bex? People using their platform to then like express idiot, stupid things in their life that everybody goes through. Your thoughts, Bex?
Well, I'm guilty of doing it. So
don't do that. It's not a good look. Could you imagine if I came on Z Show and was like, oh, I went to the fucking grocery store today and they wouldn't let me return the fucking moldy peanut butter that I got. And I want you to fucking call this because you're basically telling your listeners to call and harass the fucking business. Like, that's cuckoo.
I see what you're saying. No, I'm not guilty of doing that, but I am guilty of telling funny stories about slipping in mayonnaise and breaking my foot. So
no, that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. He got bad service on his car, and I'm going to get to the point of my story. You're rubbing off on me, Mindful Exposure. I'm going cuckoo right now. All right, hold on. See, my audience ironically likes when I lose my mind like this on stream because they could just sit here and laugh at me. So I'll just go with it. All right.
We'll laugh.
Archaics is at the collision center, and he said one of the reasons he was there because Cheryl, which I know is Leeka's girlfriend's name, he said passively aggressively smashed into the back of his fucking black pedo van. And that's the reason he was at the collision center. And he said, well, we don't talk to her anymore. And I know that's Martin's girlfriend, and they were highly close. And she seems like she's a fucking wild fucking like a wild child. She's a loose cannon, so that doesn't surprise me. I could see her getting pissed off at Archaics and smashing his fucking car, which is actually hilarious. Which I hope happened, because I don't like this Martin Archaics thing anymore. I'm over it. I thought it was good for Martin to do for a little boost, but this is below Martin. Martin is in a way higher strata than Archaics. Way higher strata than Archaics. I hope you hear this, Martin. Much love. Go ahead, Mindful Exposure. Your thoughts on what I just said.
I appreciate that. Again, like the opportunity to come back up and say my piece a little bit, because I was getting obviously amplified. Yeah, I do get a certain vibe from Ledkey, but I will tell you, in my personal experience in seeing where it's gone, there's I don't, did you see that clip? And this is why maybe consider listening to a little bit of Shem, because he does do a decent job of, and if you actually hear what he has to say behind it, he likes these guys. He's just trying to call them out on their shit. So people like Ledkey, it's like, you're not a bad guy, but what the fuck are you doing?
Like, and with what? What specifically with the Archaics thing? Is that what you're talking about?
And again, with him, like, he will ban you if you have anything against what he has to say. Can we not try to communicate a little better, right? Ledkey knows better, from my experience and my interviews with him.
Well, I'm going to reiterate. I don't hold it against him to collaborate with Archaics, but what I will say is he's in a different. Martin is top tier, and Archaics is fucking bullshit.
And since he's worked with Archaics, he has like this little clip where he's like, "Why am I not considered the OG of Tartaria? How, I don't understand." And then like, so fucking Archaics is putting this video out, like, his subs are so below like Jared Booster, and I think I could be wrong, so don't fucking hold me to the T on these people, because I don't pay attention to this shit enough, to be honest. But he was crying. He was literally kind of crying about his status on this fucking verse. And so,
who was
question,
Martin?
Like, how important is this to you and like your venture for where you're going in your life? Do you feel like the people that, if you got to interview Ledkey or Cam,
I did. I was on Martin's show. I was a special guest.
Okay, and I didn't know that. I've been there, and I interviewed him too.
And he's been on my show, but I've been on his show, so I have somewhat of an interaction with Martin. We've had, I would say, 6 or 7 conversations.
Okay, and I would say actually very close to the same for me, behind the scenes and in public. Like, we did lives, but we had a little bit, which I think.
So here's the thing: he is the OG of Tartaria. Why shouldn't he have that mantle? The record shows that he is the OG.
When Tartaria has been labeled out on maps for a while now, and actually like in Scottish.
Okay, so he wasn't alive like 250 years ago, but if he's the man who's responsible for bringing it into the popular cultural zeitgeist, why shouldn't he be given the credit he's deserved?
I'm not going to disagree that he shouldn't get any validation, but why do we have to put anybody on a pedestal?
Oh, see, this is the second time you said that, because you're one of these people who doesn't realize cause and effect, because the reality is it's not about a pedestal. It's if he indeed is the OG gangster of Tartaria, if he was one of the progenitors of the information, if he was one of the original people presenting it, why should he not be recognized for that? It's not about him being on a pedestal.
Are we going to pay for an award ceremony like the Oscars then now?
No, but it's just about truth versus falsehood. If it's the truth, why is...
But why does he literally then does he need to be given an award? That's what I'm asking. Can we not come together?
What you just did was...
Okay. I'm going to tell you something real quick, and I promise I'm not taking over. But I am trying to build something outside of whatever this is, and it has to do, and I'm not saying I'm a fucking put me on a pedestal. I'm just saying I'm giving it with all of the free education I can, as much as I can. You can call it socialist, you can call it communist. I would love to get into the details of what I'm trying to like break down, but I'm trying to build something a little bit outside of whatever this is. I don't want to play the game. I'm not here for that.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't take away from certain things. If Martin is indeed who, you know, what if Martin indeed was the progenitor of this information? It's not out of the realm of
Sorry.
what. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying Martin does predate Archaics. We can definitely give him that. But Archaics supposedly came out of prison. I don't know if that has to do with time.
It doesn't matter if he takes Archaics is fucking bunking bullshit and spin and scam and fucking shill.
Yeah.
Martin is not those things. Plain and simple. I don't even like put him in the same conversation. You know, I'm done with this. Much love, Mindful. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad that I have to talk about Martin and Archaics in the same conversation. That's what I'm fucking mad about. All right. See, I'm screaming and stuff. Now I get it. Much love. Come talk to me again.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Marticus, Spartacus, we miss you. Is that what's part of it? We miss Marty. We miss Martin. He's busy.
Martin's just fine. Martin's just fine. He just needs to. It sounds like this thing between Martin and Archaics is probably done because Cheryl crashed her car in the Archaics' fucking pedo van.
Oh, that was what where you were going with this, telling some story about, you know, using your audience to potentially bother a business or something. Are those two things related?
Correct. That's where it was.
I see.
Is that he mentioned that somebody named Cheryl, who they were friends with but are no longer, crashed passively aggressively, smashed into the back of his fucking black pedo van.
I see.
So I'm just, you know how, Bex, I'm pretty good at making these links. You seem like you're good too, where you can conjecture things. It doesn't mean we're always right, but I would say more often than not, does this happen to you, Bex, where after you conjecture, then it's actually verified, and in your head you smugly go, yeah, I was right about that one. Chalk it up to another one. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm pretty sure with this one too, because the way Archaics is like, this Cheryl crashed into the back of my black pedo van, and now we don't talk to her. And I was like, oh, that's got to be Martin's girlfriend, Cheryl. I knew it. Did
they come to the States again? Was Martin here? Was Martin in the States twice then, or is this from the original?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know.
And then I had another question, just because, so, you know, and I don't mean to bring up a sore spot about beautiful breasts or anything, but Campbell Campbell's got a hot chick on his shoulder. Is that that's the news? That's his squeeze. That's his.
Yeah, this broad.
You know, yeah, I didn't know.
Well,
I mean, I knew that they
hold
all
on,
met,
no,
but
this is another thing. We're conjecturing, we're assuming. But
I see. I got it.
All right.
Yeah.
So again, Lex, let's do the thing where we just like conjecture, but we know it's actually true because it just is. Look, he's getting handsy with her again. All right, hold on. So all of a sudden, Julia Kamen is posting this shit online. Then next thing is she's on Martin's channel and he's interviewing her, like giving her prime spot. Then a month and a half later, he's back in the States. So in my head, I see Campbell back in the States. I go, oh, he's obviously back for this Jamie chick, just because he is. And then this mindful exposure comes up and then verifies it, which again, I got to have a little moment in my head where I was like, oh, I was right about that thing. Is that he's here because of this Julia. I didn't know it, but I knew it because I would do the same thing. Simple.
But he could also be traveling a far distance for a crush, right? We all have done that. I mean, a lot of people are willing to do that.
Not that far. The fucking guy lives in Australia.
Yeah. Well, and then that might be.
Hold on,
I
have a special guest in the back. It's
We do.
Yeah, it's Mr. Archaics. Welcome to the show, Mr. Archaics. Totally not OTW. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't really appreciate this kind of treatment. And what I would appreciate is if you could get my dick out of your mouth. Get my name. Just get my name out of your fucking mouth.
It's Sean of Source, by the way. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about, but I would just appreciate it if you could get
all right,
my
Archaics.
name
All right.
out of your fucking mouth. Okay.
Archaics, you seem like a rather intimidating character. We obviously know about your history as a felon and you know your stay in the penitentiary. So I don't know, maybe you were like a shot caller in there, and I don't want to step on like whatever Aryan Brotherhood you may or may not be connected to based off your shaved head. I'm not sure, but I would imagine if we searched your body for any type of, let's say, certain types of tattoos involving what we might say is the Big Dipper as it goes around the North Star that some people call a swastika. We might find it on you. I'm just wondering, Archaics. You don't have to confirm or deny that here, good sir, please.
I mean, you don't see me coming in your spot and telling you about flat Earth. It's a bunch of bullshit, right? Just like I wouldn't want you to be talking shit about me in the 2040 coming Phoenix event that I think everybody should be prepared for.
Well, Archaics, I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to be really preparing for that event based off, your presentation, but is it, oh, look, there he is. There's a different picture of him. Much love. But I thought now that you're by default a flat earther, Archaics, because of your association with Martin. I guess that didn't stick. Too bad.
Martin is essentially my, I don't want to say it here. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it online, actually.
Oh, are you saying you made Martin your bitch using your shot caller, like state penitentiary jail status?
Kind of, sort of.
Damn.
That kind of. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Honey buns. It's all about my honey buns.
Paul Becks, I mean, we have Mr. Archaics here himself addressing these recent allegations.
I know, it's amazing.
It's really great how that happens. I mean, who knows? We might be bringing people together here on Z's show, guys. It might be that. All right, much love, Archaic. I mean, Sean, much love. All right, Bex, before I let you go,
I brought my books. Beck's books.
Nice. Bex, before I let you go and get to the news, what's your current state with Mr. King Steven, who I don't even want to give him any plug on his show? Are you guys what?
Yes.
Where are you?
It's amicable.
You guys are amicable. He did what Flow State did to me today. He basically told you, keep that damn snafu snaps off your channel or I'm not going to be happy. Flow State gave me the same rap today. What's your take? Because you seem rather chummy with snafu, but when you were confronted by Mr. King Steven, you distance yourself pretty quickly. I did notice that. Care to
well, and I have noticed the flippity flop optics of the zebra creature towards me as of late. But I know that it makes for content all over the place. So that seems to be what he does. I know he's got bigger agendas than that. So I just, it's sort of some of that projection stuff. So, at the moment I am not, I have no venue to host having a conversation. And when I've been confronted by Snappy Snaps, I choose to tell him this is not the platform to have the conversation, whatever he's trying to have with me. So in essence, I also am, drawing a bit of a line in the sand that I probably should have done a few months ago. But he's helped me learn a lot about myself. So, but that's me. Anyways, yeah. So I'm in agreement right now. But that's easy to say when my channel is hidden and I don't have anywhere to, host. So I was going to say, though, interesting, the whole credit thing. So, if Campbell were to give, were to remunerate Esra in any way, even just accreditation or accreditation, then there's also this like Tartarian, like award ceremony. I was just wondering, like, how much should I pay you in the end for my unabashed inference, like my new channel, my alt channel, for the whole, we'll talk about it. Right.
Right. I mean, I want some kind of like, I don't know, like some kind of finder's fee for the thing, or we could work something out.
Yes. And I also had one other thought that I wanted to share was that maybe since we got this Vesica Pisces shape of the crater going on, that there's a reason why some men are not, inclined to, cunnilingus. Maybe it's because they actually live on a giant clitoris. What do you think of that?
I don't know. If that were the case, I'd be trying to get off this earth pretty damn quick because I don't want to be anywhere near. Look, that's just a mystery. Everything that goes on below the equator in the female world is a complete mystery to me. I'm okay with it. I don't want to be acquainted with it as much as some people would like to be.
There are entire channels devoted to heterosexual sex not involving oral sex. There's entire
Yeah, it's just
cults
called
have moved off
sex.
YouTube, and yeah, it's just called
It's just
sex.
called
So,
sex, Bex. It's
yeah,
just sex the way
yeah,
it was. Do you think these
yeah.
guys were going down on chicks throughout history? I assure you they were not.
It's a little gay. It's a little gay. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm for or against, right? I'm not here to talk about Bexel's sexual inclinations,
Well,
right?
you're
But I just
not, because
think
you
that,
do have
you know,
this new male suitor, Bex. I mean, what's going
well, he's
on? I
not new.
mean,
7 years, man. 7 years the guy's been. He was a plumber, now he's a pilot. You know what I'm saying? Like
well, he went from
he's a
a plumber
catch.
to a
He's a catch.
pilot, but he
Well, he has
seems like he's
both.
doing
He will have both. Yeah,
good for him.
yeah.
Seems like he's doing some
And a
plumbing
musician.
work with you, Bex. Seems like
Lucky
he's
me.
cleaning.
Lucky me.
Seems like he's cleaning out those pipes. So how was that for you, Bex, to re-engage that part of your life and express yourself in that way? How did it feel?
It's been great. It's been fantastic. It felt as, you know, it's like better than riding a bike, of course. Like, but you know, it's you don't forget, right? You know.
We're getting the in-depth and up close with you. Much love. All right, Bex, adios. Let me do the
Yes.
news.
Yes. Thanks
Much
for having
love.
me, Z. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll catch you again some other time. Take care.
Back at you. Good vibes, everybody. Good vibes. Oh, holy Macintosh. It just goes to show you never know where the metaverse is going to bring you. You never know, everybody. Good stuff all around. Let me try to get back to my thing here. That was a pleasant surprise. You did well, Mindful Exposure. I was just trying to get the juice on like Campbell and Martin and stuff. That's really what it was about, honestly speaking. You just got caught in the middle of it. That's all. And I'm going to stick by it. Martin is on a tier that Archaics can't even touch. So, Martin, do whatever you're going to do with Archaics. I get it, man. I get it, bro. It's fair enough, dude. I don't think of you any less, Martin, but I'm like that. I'm fair-minded. It goes along with my personality type, which apparently is INFJ, and it goes with the F part, the feeling part. See it, and the intuition. So, all right, everybody, let's turn the corner. Let's do a hard left, as they say. You know. Speaking about a hard left, I think Harmon's might be hard and using his left hand right now based off this. Or that just could be me. I don't know. I'm just projecting. Is it possible, Mindful Exposure, that there's going to be controversy from this stream based off my interaction with myself, unbeknownst to everybody else? This is a joke, everybody. It's not real. I'm just kidding. I was not masturbating during this stream. I would never do anything like that. That's gross. It's horrible. Much love, Julia Kamen. Come talk to me. Once that Campbell's done with you, like I said, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the Campbell pussy shrapnel that's going to explode from the Campbell Liedke Archaics experience. I'd imagine there's a lot of pussy bombs going on between those three guys, and I'll accept some of the shrapnel from that. You know, it's cool with me. I'm not picky. Plus, they're more likely to go down on you. I'd imagine Martin has no problem going down on these ladies. He seems rather adventurous. Not me, guys. In case you didn't know that about me, now you know. I'm just saying. All right, how do we move on from this? How do I get myself out of this this fucking quagmire that I seem to have walked into? I guess I'll try my best. Where's my music? Which one is it? Let's try this one. This is the part of the show where we do the news, for anybody new. Which is kind of like the same thing. I just like each article I read that has to do with politics, history, science, or religion. I just like tell you how fake it is, make fun of it, spurg out a little bit. And then we move on. All right, everybody. It's time for News. Bum, 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 bum. Thank you, everybody. Let's get to the news. In tonight's top story, House Republicans release report seeking to undermine January 6th committee and star witnesses. The House committee investigating the special January 6th committee released, nice one, AI bot that wrote this, a sweeping report Monday that Republicans say demonstrates that 4 other White House employees did not corroborate key witness Cassidy Hutchinson's dramatic account of former President Donald Trump's actions that day. None of the White House employees corroborated Hutchinson's sensational story about President Trump lunging for the steering wheel of the beast, I guess, which the car he's in. However, some witnesses did describe the president's mood after the speech at the ellipse. All right. Hutchinson testified under oath privately and publicly before the January 6th panel that she had heard that Trump had lunged at the steering wheel of the presidential SUV and gotten into a physical altercation, which led his Secret Service agent after he was told he could not go to the Capitol to join supporters after he spoke at the rally. So this goes back to that story that Trump spoke at the rally that preceded the January 6th Capitol event. And the story was that when Trump heard that there was basically a riotous breach going on at the Capitol, that he was en route to somewhere, and he instructed the Secret Service to take him to the Capitol to address the supporters, and the Secret Service disobeyed his command, which is a couple things is interesting. One, that's actually kind of cool move on Trump's part that like humanizes him in some weird way for me. And two, what does that tell you if the president makes a command and the fucking Secret Service does the opposite? Oh, they were protecting his well-being. Who cares? He's the commander in chief. Weird story. If Trump gets back in, every one of those Secret Servicemen needs to be fired, moved on out of there. They should have been fired that day. I don't care what anybody says. It's stupid. I still want to believe that the president does something. I know they don't do anything. I get it. But I'd like to believe it somehow. Even me, as jaded as I am regarding so many things. I would like to have this fantasy. But alas, I know it's not true. I know they're just basically, selected, not elected. And they're basically figures. Kind of puppets, empty suits, figureheads. That's all. They represent something. They don't really, you guys know what I mean. But I would have liked to seen Trump down there at the Capitol. I think it would have been a great element to the story. It would have brought the story to next level. Trump shows up, then he's mobbed by a bunch of people. It's a long story. I can go into more stuff, but let's move on. In other news, 50 people were hurt, including 12 sent to the hospital after a Boeing 787 dropped sharply in midair. At least 50 passengers were injured on a LATAM Airlines flight on Monday, the New Zealand Herald first reported. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner traveling from Sydney to Auckland Oh, hopefully Campbell wasn't on that one. Experienced a technical problem that caused the jet to drop suddenly, the newspaper reported. In a statement shared with Business Insider, LATAM Airlines said there was a technical event during the flight which caused a strong movement. All right. So I read another article today about another flight that was going on where both pilots fell asleep at 36,000 feet elevation. It just happened like in the last couple of days. And that interestingly enough, they still like were fine. And after like a half-hour nap, they woke up. They tried to play it off like it was their radio, but they were busted. Which kind of means once the autopilot's engaged, these planes kind of fly themselves for the most part. But yeah, these are the perils of commercial flight, commercial airliner flight. But you guys know here, you guys know me. I'm all about other types of flight. I want them to bring back zeppelins and arrows. Some of the strange, weird crafts they had, like in the 1800s. Like the movie I watched last night, Around the World in 80 Days, which I'm definitely going to have to do a presentation on, where they just got in a hot air balloon and just gently glided like halfway across Europe. I miss those days. Give me those. That's when air travel was classy. I picture it like Indiana Jones, the third one, the Last Crusade, where he and his dad, Sean Connery, are in the Zeppelin. It seems fun, elegant. It seemed very like high class. Even airline travel, when it was first like initiated, like in the 50s and 60s, airline flights were like an event. People would dress up in their like Sunday best. The food was like actual real gourmet food, and cocktails were flowing. It was swanky. If you tried to take a flight lately, don't do it. It's like a fucked up insane asylum on there. It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest combined with like a Target, combined with like, I don't know, the DMV. It's horrible. People are in sweatpants, freaking out, losing their minds, pilled up. The commercial flight experience is absolutely horrible. I'm surprised more people don't die. Yeah, you're not going to catch me in the air really anytime soon. I'm not really that into like flying places. I'm okay with just being where I am. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap it. I would like to do more news, but we're almost at the 4-hour mark. So that usually gives me an indication to cut the news short. So I'll do so. What's the chat saying to me? Z, I'd love to make some music for the show. I won't even something. Go ahead, Shadow Band. Make music for the show. Who's stopping you? Go for it. It's good stuff. It's funny seeing the people that I banned in my chat over on Flow State's chat because he's restreaming right now. All right, much love, everybody. Much love to the Flow State audience for hanging in. Who's probably going to go live after this. He said 9:30, but I think he meant his time, which is different than my time. Thank you for joining me today, my panelist, and special thanks to Rose777, who basically was the impetus and the progenitor of the wonderful segment we did, in which we discovered that my personality type is an INFJ. I'm going to have to remember that now. I'll have to use some mnemonic device so when people ask me what my personality type is, I now know. Which, based off like all indications and features that she read, makes me pretty fucked up in so many ways. But I'm pretty sure many people probably could have guessed that very same thing. So, interesting show today, all over the place. Mind-boggling in many ways. But we'll do it again tomorrow if the fates are willing. Much love, everybody. Catch us again tomorrow. Same Z channel. Same Z time. Peace.